Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Good evening, friends, and welcome into Memorial Gardens for OHL hockey tonight. Tonight's broadcast features the red-hot Ottawa 67's with only 2 losses in their first regular season games in town to take on the Central Division leading North Bay Battalion. I'm your host, Derek Lindeman, and this is the Frontline pregame show brought to you by...
The pregame show is brought to you by La Herda Imports. Family owned and operated since 1995. Visit laherdaimports.com for more details.
And at this time, I'm going to welcome in Courtney Kenny to the pregame show. The battle, the top 2 teams of the Eastern Conference meeting for the 3rd time this season. Ottawa came out on top of the first 2, but the Battalion looking to get some revenge here on home ice tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, who would have thought coming into the season that Ottawa would have 18 wins in their first 20? I don't think many people expected them to be one of the forces in the Eastern Conference, and to me, I'm still a little skeptical, but you don't luck your way into 18 wins in your first 20 games. There's something that you're cooking with something real good there if you're Ottawa. So again, them taking the first 2 wins of the season, or 2 games of the season against the Battalion, although the first game was a 1-goal difference. We'll have to see if that registers. Charlie Robertson actually getting his second start against the 67's, as he started that first game, and that was in Ottawa in early October. So we'll have to see if he rebounds as he's in net, because Dom DiVincentis isn't ready to go. Hopefully he's back next week sometime. But it should be a good one here, and of course we still have the little feather in our cap that the Battalion swept the 67's in the first round last year.
Yeah, we'll talk more in the pregame show about the absence of Dom DiVincentis. And one of the troubles when you get to play Ottawa on the road is it always seems to be that third game in either 3 of 3 or 3 on 4. You're always playing Peterborough, Kingston, and then you're on your way to Ottawa for that third game. And usually it's a tired troop team that is in Ottawa, so hopefully being here on home ice makes an advantage for the North Bay Battalion.
Here's hoping, and I mean, we've been to Ottawa once. Well, I think you've been a couple of times, but I've been there once. And the one game that we did in Ottawa, the troops were coming in off that third game as well. And it was a back-and-forth affair. And then Ottawa won on a very controversial penalty shot in the last minute of the game. I will still contest. I will contest that penalty shot till the day I die. Just like I think New Jersey Devils fans are contesting some of those non-goal calls yesterday. Hey, sorry, 13 wins is impressive though, but go Leafs.
It was.
But yeah, so it's a tough building to play in. But now they're here on Battalion home soil, and they didn't look very good. If we go back to the last game, Ottawa comes away with the win, but really the last 2 games Ottawa played here were in that first round. In that first game, they didn't look good at all against the troops. They were very much basically out-muscled, outworked in that game. But then the next game, they came out and had a 3-goal lead. The Battalion battled back, and they only won that game 7-6 on basically a walk-off goal by Brandon Coe as he went down the ice. So the Battalion do have some good recent history on their side in this building. It's just a matter of can they stop this red-hot team.
And you know what? You get to listen to that Brandon Coe call every time the Frontline podcast comes on, as that is part of the intro to the Frontline podcast. And one of the guests you had this week, Josh Bloom, is going to be our player to watch tonight. So let's take a quick look at our players to watch, as brought to you by Mike the Financial Guy.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
Taking a look for the Ottawa 67's, Jack Mathieu getting our player to watch for the 67's. He's had a strong start, 8 goals, 15 assists, 23 points, all among the top leaders of the defensive categories in the first 20 games. And for the North Bay Battalion, probably the newest and the hype player of the year so far, Josh Bloom. 1 goal, 2 assists in his first 3 games. 2 exciting players, 1 offense, 1 defense, and both of those players were drafted in the 2021 NHL draft.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I don't want to give away all the spoilers of the episode this week, but we do touch on that with Josh Bloom, especially considering he didn't play a single game of competitive hockey in his draft year. So to be drafted in the top 100 is pretty impressive. You have to check out the front line for his answer on that. Jack Mathieu, he's always fun to watch because he's a northern boy. He's from the Sioux, and he's had a great OHL career, obviously getting drafted. So he's a tough out every time he comes here. He's always a player to key in on for the 67's, and I really personally do not like watching him play hockey because of how good he is. So
yeah, and in his 20 games, he's almost matched his career highs for season totals. Last year, he set highs in goals at 9, 20 assists, and 29 points, and he's already at 23 points this year. He's a big guy offensively and counting on for that shutdown D.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's scary about him is he's such a good two-way defenseman. He can burn you offensively, he can burn you defensively, and he always seems to have really good games whenever he plays against the troops. I do want to highlight again, we talk about Josh Bloom a little bit, but he has, up until we recorded with him on Tuesday night, they had only had 1 practice of the Battalion under their belts, him and Braden Hislop. And they played 3 games, and he had 3 points with the Battalion. So he's pretty impressive. And, of course, he also highlighted his buddy, Hissy, as he called it, Braden Hislop, as being the secret steal of that draft. Josh Bloom's going to get the headlines. Braden Hislop's looking mighty fine on the back end for the troops.
Yeah, if you're thinking Braden Hislop was a throw-in on that deal, I think it was more of a great pickup by Adam Dennis, as he's going to get C-time again tonight on that top line. Top D pairing with Ty Nelson. I know last game I was down between the benches, and just hearing the communication between Hislop and Nelson on the ice and also off the ice, those two guys are not going to take long to get on the same page.
No, and I mean they've already kind of gotten on the same page a little bit. We've seen it in that first game, Hislop getting an assist, and really him and Nelson were out there and were able to hem the 67's in their own, or not the 67's, rather the Frontenacs in their own zone in that game. And what Matt described on the podcast is Hislop looking like a shortstop, keeping the ball in front of him all the time. So, and he did do just that. He was very impressive in that game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he integrates himself more into this team, especially since they're going to be out with Tanai Smith-Thurin long-term, likely until the playoffs, which you don't want to hear come November. And Avery Winslow should be back sooner rather than later, but you're still without 2 veteran defensemen on that back line. So to get Hislop is a big genius. 500 IQ, as the memers would say, of Adam Dennis.
You brought up 2 of these scratches for tonight's game in Winslow and Mathurin. 2 of the other scratches are also big-name players. Let's start with Kyle McDonald, the forward. He was listed as day-to-day, maybe back this weekend. We still don't have a timeline for him.
No, we're still kind of waiting on Kyle McDonald. You know, he hasn't played in a little while, which is unfortunate. He's a guy that I really keyed in on the preseason, saying, you know, if he comes back to North Bay, he could lead the league in goals. I don't think that's out of reach, but, you know, he missed the first few games because he was still with the Belleville Senators. And now he's missed a few games now due to injury. And, you know, he's a goal scorer. He has scored goals in games that he's been back. He's scored more often than he hasn't. but he's starting to fall behind the league leaders a bit. But he's a presence on this team that is going to be sorely missed. And when you think about the addition of Josh Bloom, one thing last year you and I were crying about, and the broadcast was crying about, was we need secondary scoring, and then they went out and got Kyle McDonald. This year, it's like, who's going to play where? Because you got Wakely, who's in the top 10 of goal scoring with 12 goals on the third line. You're going to have McDonald and Bloom on the wings on the top two lines. Where's the goals coming from? Pretty much anywhere in this lineup.
Pretty much everywhere. You brought up Wakely, 10 goals, 6 assists in his last 10 games. But getting back to the injury front, the big news of today, Dom DiVincentis is out of the lineup, and really, we don't know really how long or what might the issue be there.
Yeah, and that's something that we've keyed in on, not on air, but kind of off air. We all discuss, and we've been saying all year. Last year, if Joe Verbetic got injured, well, they got Tom, right? This year it's, okay, now we're going to see what Charlie Robertson is made out of. And truthfully, there's been some moments where he's been like, okay, he's pretty good, but there's been a lot of moments where you're like, Dom cannot go down with an injury. So this could really make or break this stretch for the Battalion right now, depending on how long Dom is out, because he is a bona fide number one goalie in this league. Last year it wasn't necessarily clear-cut towards the end of the season. This year it's clear-cut. Dom DiVincentis is your number one. Charlie Robertson's your backup. And we will see Mike McIver dressed for the team tonight as well as the backup goalie.
Charlie Robertson was the goaltender of record. Last time the Battalion were on the ice, that was in Owen Sound on Sunday. He made 31 saves in picking up that 6-3 win, and this is going to be his second start on home ice. He was last on home ice when they took on the Kitchener Rangers, in which they fell 4-3 that night.
Yeah, and he let in a lot of goals that maybe might have left some to be desired, but at the same time, he is getting NHL recognition, so he does have that pedigree. It's going to be interesting to see how much leash he has, or rather, this is really going to open up the eyes for Adam Dennis. I think if you're going all in, like it feels like with that Josh Bloom and Braden Hislop trade, I think this stretch for Charlie Robinson is imperative. And if he plays well, that's going to be great. If not, Adam might be looking to the market to get a backup goaltender.
Yeah, because after tonight, they're going to be in Hamilton and Niagara, 3-on-3, and it's looking like, will we see Mike McIver getting one of those starts in the next 3 nights?
I would imagine so, and Mike McIver's looked really good with the U18 Trappers, but it's a big difference between AAA hockey and the OHL, as you know.
It is, and we're all set for OHL hockey tonight. When we return, Matt Sukram will join you, Courtney, with the play-by-play. When we return on the Frontline Broadcast, 67's take on the North Bay Battalion.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you inside North Bay Memorial Gardens for the tonight's showdown between the Ottawa 67's and North Bay Battalion. I just wanted to mention we didn't get a chance to bring this up during the pregame. Of course, many people who follow hockey today knowing of the passing of Mr. Boreas Salming, Leafs legend. A very sad day indeed for hockey fans everywhere, especially those that he helped trailblaze for the European side of things. And I just want to talk about on the personal side, ALS hits a little close to home. My stepdad's mother passing from it. Really sad to see that disease happen. So my thoughts are obviously with the Salming family, as they are with as many people are here this evening. So I just wanted to bring that up on the game before we got going. And now that I brought it down, we'll try and bring it back up as Matt Sukram will have the call here as the Battalion and 67 do battle here.
Puck is dropped and we are underway as it's the Arnsby, Van Steensel, and Romani line out there to start tonight's contest. It's sent into the Ottawa zone. Arnsby gets knocked down, gets back up, finds the puck, tries to center it, but it's knocked away off the stick of Van Steensel and sent to the near side boards. Arnsby has it there. He tries to center it. That gets blocked, and Ottawa will skate out of the zone with the puck, dumped in the zone by Barlis. Picked up behind the North Bay goal line and sent down to Van Steensel in the neutral zone. He dumps it into the far side corner. Arnsby knocked off the puck there, and it comes out to the neutral zone. Hislop with it in his fourth game in a North Bay uniform. Fires it up to the captain, Arnsby. He can't go into the zone with the puck. And now skating the other way are the 67's. Tolnay leading the charge in there, but he gets bumped off the puck by Nelson. And Nelson picks it up and sends it in to the Ottawa zone to our broadcast left. Ottawa tries to clear it. That gets blocked. Now it's Ertl who picks it up. He travels down to the blue line. Poke check made, and Ertl will have to chase it out of the zone. Back to his blue line. He finds Nelson. Nelson skates down his right wing side and fires it into the Ottawa zone. Picked up on the near side boards. It's into the near side corner. They try to play it to Jackson in the middle. Knocked off his stick, and away down the ice goes Romeo. Into the Ottawa zone. Check that into the North Bay zone. Christopoulos has it up to the blue line. Ottawa player knocked off the puck there as Rohr had it. Back in behind the net, and Christopoulos looking to clear it out of the North Bay zone, and he does. Try to get up to Bloom. Bloom overskates the puck, and Rohr is able to dump it back in. Christopoulos with control of the puck behind his own net. Gets it out ahead to the stick of Tarasevic. He overskates it. Now he gets it back at the blue line on some miscommunication for the 67's. Tarasevic tries to dump it into the corner for Wakely. It gets blocked there. He tries again. He finds Petrov this time. Petrov skates back down the half board, tries to send it back in the corner for Wakely. He's knocked away from the puck. It goes to the far side. Petrov sends it in front to Wakely, and the save is made. Good stop there by Donoso. Play back in behind the net. Gardner back there. Gardner, who has 3 points in the 2 games against North Bay so far this season. Pass across the far side. Cutting in front of the net is Wakely, but he cannot redirect that pass in towards the Ottawa net. The puck comes to the near side boards. Hislop is there. Tries to play in the corner. Sent in behind the net. Picked up there by Morelli. Frankie Morelli coming off an appearance at the World Under-17 Challenge. Played with Team Canada White. Still holding the puck back there. 3 minutes into this game. No score yet. Boucher down the right wing side. Boucher towards the net. Centers it. Big time stop made by Robertson on a point blank chance by the 67's. What a pass set up in front to Brady Stonehouse. Stonehouse scored his first career goal against the North Bay Battalion just last season. And after that play, Terrian was run into the boards.
Looks like they called it offside.
And it looks like, yeah, you're right, just an offside there. So over 3 minutes in, and we have a first stoppage in play.
So the Battalion with a really strong look there on that last shift by the Wakely, Petrov, and Tarasevic line, really hemming in Ottawa in their zone. And if you're the North Bay Battalion, you really like to see that start, especially from that line. And that line has been clicking a lot. We saw Wakely taken off the line last week here at home as they opted to go back with Michael Podolou. But head coach Ryan Houlihan deciding to go back with that Wakely line because really it's worked and it's clicked really well for the troops here as of late.
Podolou centering the fourth line with Procession and Terrien on his wings in tonight's contest. Play back underway. Constantini tries to get the puck down ice. It's blocked off the skate of Van Steensel, and he goes into the zone. Van Steensel in the corner, sets it up to the half boards. Trying to control the puck there is Romani. Now Arnsby goes in to help him out. They lose it at the blue line, and out of the zone is Pinelli. Gets it up to Rohr. Rohr sends it in right towards the stick of Robertson, and he holds on to it for stoppage and play. Not sure if you guys touched on it in the pregame show, but Dom DiVincentis not in net tonight, dealing unfortunately with some concussion symptoms because of he got bumped in practice on Tuesday, and that means under the protocol he has to be out for a week.
Yeah, and hopefully he's able to come back within a week. So we'll really, as I mentioned to Derek in the pregame, we're really going to get to see what Charlie Robertson is made of in this little stretch for the Troops. I would imagine Mike McIver gets a start over the weekend as well, but we'll have to see if this is kind of in a year to go all in for the Troops as they signaled with their last trades. This might signal to Adam Dennis that he might need to shop for a backup goaltender at some point as well.
Play at the line. Ottawa with it in the North Bay zone. They get it towards the slot area. Shot out of the zone. And then gloved down by Smythe. And, and then it's offside called against the 67's right at the line there. So 15:55 to go, and Robertson has an issue with his equipment. So super trainer Mackenzie Campbell making a couple quick additions there. He took pliers right to Robertson's mask. And that seemed to do the trick. I don't know if I trust anybody with pliers right in front of my face like that.
No, thank you. The last time I saw pliers in front of my face, they were taking my wisdoms out.
Maybe the only guy I trust with it, though, might be Mac down there. So.
Yes.
Playback underway. North Bay win the draw. Erdl trying to move into the zone. He gets pushed into the boards, but the puck travels into the Ottawa zone behind the net. Jackson kicks it to his skate, then sends it down to Turley. Across the right side, Christopoulos off the board, sends it in. Big kick made by Donoso. It's off the boards and picked up by Dever, and he dumps it down the ice. Into the North Bay zone, picked up by Bloom, who's got 3 points through his first 3 games as a member of the Troops. He sends it to the neutral zone, picked up by Matier. Matier into the North Bay end. He plays it to the slot. That's taken away as it's broken up by Turley. Then Turley could not clear, so it ends up on the far side boards. Back to the middle of the zone. Jackson has it. Gets it out ahead to Petrov, who chips it ahead onto the half boards. Picked up by Gardner. He sends it around to the far side to Muse. Henry Muse lost it. Into the zone. The shot save made, and the rebound cleared away. Lukin on the half board. Sends it in behind the net. Into the corner. Tarasevic is knocked into the boards. Puck picked up by Gardner. He'll send it out ahead to Morelli, and Morelli dumps it into the North Bay zone, picked up by Lukin on the back end. Lukin paired up with Christopoulos tonight, sending around to the far side boards. They can't clear the zone. It is traveled in by Boucher. Boucher tries to kick it out in front of the net, and he sends it to the far side boards. Over there is Stonehouse trying to hold on to the puck. Gets it to the line, kept in the zone. The shot, stick snaps on the shot. Tarasevic for the Battalion is able to pick up the puck, and he clears it out of the zone quickly. Picking it up at the blue line for the 67's is Tolnay. He gets it up to Boucher, takes a shot. That's a save made by Robertson. Pushed into the boards. Kennedy finds the puck for North Bay. 13:55 to go as they look to clear the puck out of the zone. They can't. Stonehouse has it. Goes to the slot. Shot save made. Actually, it might have been stopped in front of the net by Lukin. And now there's a stretch pass down the ice. Van Steensel all alone. Scores! No, the referee is waving it off. Owen Van Steensel beat Donoso clean over the shoulder. And to me, it looked like it came in and out of the net. But play continues here in the Ottawa zone. It's Nelson on the far side. Takes a shot. Save made. Rebound chance just wide of the net. Picked up by Romani. To the point, Hislop. Hislop sets it up to Nelson. Nelson at the line. To the right side. Shot through the slot. Ends up on the near side boards. At the point, it's Nelson. He sends it in, and that one is blocked in front. Another shot comes in. Deflected. Just goes wide. Picked up by Van Steensel. Tries to center it. Blocked by Stonehouse. And Brady Stonehouse will clear it. It will go the length of the ice. And icing will be waved off with 13 minutes to go as they're saying Hislop should have and could have played it before across the goal line. So Battalion bring it out of their own zone, get it up ahead to Potaloo. Potaloo dumps it into the far side. There's Procession. Procession battling, hoping Terrien can help him out back there. They move it around on the near side boards. Terrien throws a hit on the half boards. The puck staying in the zone. Sent around to the far side. Procession there. Flips it back in behind the net, looking for Podolou. Podolou lost it, and it's picked up by Pinelli. Pinelli gets it out of the zone, down the ice. In the neutral zone, Podolou gets it back. Sends it down the left wing side. And it's dumped into the Ottawa end. Smythe has it behind the net as the Battalion make a change. And Ottawa dump it into the North Bay zone. The Battalion get it right back out quickly to the neutral zone. Bloom coming in over the blue line, tries to get around a couple of guys. The former Saginaw Spear captain pushed off the puck, and it's sent to the half boards, and Ottawa clear the zone. Coming down the right wing side is Cooper Foster. The team's leading rookie scores, dumps it into the zone. Picked up by Jackson of the Battalion. He gets it up ahead to Christopoulos. Christopoulos tries to get up ahead to Bloom. That got blocked. Chasing it back into the zone is Gardner of the 67's. Gardner sends it in towards the net. Robertson pushes it away. Still no score here in the first, and there's only been 2 stoppages through the first 9:30 of this game. Play still underway inside the North Bay zone. Barless gets it behind the net. One player falls down back there, and North Bay pick it up quickly and send it around to the near side. Bloom looks to get it out, and he chips it along the boards. Barless quickly in his own zone, plays it back to the Ottawa defense. They move it up ahead to Rohrer. Rohrer coming in on the right wing side, drops it back to Major. Matier plays it back up ahead to Rohrer in the corner. Rohrer falls down, gets back up, finds the puck again, plays it to the line to Constantini, across to the left side to Smythe. Smythe, his shot blocked, and it goes off a skate to the far side corner. They try another shot from that area. That gets blocked by North Bay. Tercevic is able to get the puck out of the zone as he tried to pass across the blue line, but nobody's there for North Bay, and so Ottawa are able to dump the puck right back in. Still no score as we play with 10:35 remaining in the first period. And the Battalion and Ottawa, back and forth we go with a lot of speed, but nothing yet to show for it on the scoreboard.
And a golden opportunity for Owen Van Steensel to get the troops up on the board as he beat Donoso cleanly, but apparently not the post. And of course, we would have heard the goals horn go if it was indeed deemed a good goal on the replay that they were able to see. And just one thing I do want to highlight in our ever enduring efforts to bring value and put butts in seats, the Teddy Bear Toss is coming up Thursday, December 8th, so make your way down to Memorial Gardens and help out a good cause just before the holiday season.
And they will play the Sioux Greyhounds, and that will actually be the next home game. They have a lengthy 5-game road trip between this one and that game.
Yeah, wild to think about how little home games we've had in the front half, but you know what that means, Matt, is that we'll basically be living here at Memorial Gardens from January on until the end of the season, so which Adam Dennis and Ryan Houlihan have already keyed in on the podcast, as that will be big for them, when they're searching for those points, having home ice advantage like that.
This is the third weekend in a row for North Bay where they play a home game and then they hit the road for 2 in a row or 2 in the next 3 days, something like that. So
exactly.
This is only their 8th home game of the season. They are 5-2 here at Memorial Gardens. Playback underway. North Bay had the puck inside the Ottawa zone. Played to the far side boards. Christopoulos with it. Plays it in behind the net looking for Petrov. Petrov in the corner. Tried to find Wakely. Wakely knocked away from the puck. And Ottawa are able to get it out. Boucher skating down the right wing side. 9:50 to play in the first period. Boucher dumps it in, and he'll pick up his own dump in. Then he lost it on the boards to Romani. Romani tried to clear. That got blocked off a couple of skates. Romani tried to find it behind the blue line. Knocked away from him on the poke check by Foster, and he dumps it into the North Bay zone. In the far side corner, Rohrer is hit off the puck. Now he gets it back, tries to center it. That's blocked by Van Steensel, gets it to Romani. Back to Van Steensel and cleared out of the zone. I think the Battalion have been trying to pass it way too much in their own end through the first 10 and a bit here of this period. Hislop down in the half boards. Played back to Arnsby at the blue line in the Ottawa zone. Around to the far side and now in behind the net. Romani working down his far side boards. Sends it on net. That's wide. Romani picks it up on the half boards on the near side. Looks to skate to the middle. Tries to send it to the point to Nelson, but it's blocked by Rohrer. Then it was a foot race to the puck, and Nelson is able to just poke it away from Rohrer from getting a clear breakaway chance. Still no score in the first period. 8:45 to play. We'll be taking a break on our next whistle, whenever that does come. And it's played into the North Bay zone. Hislop behind the net, feeds it around the far side to Nelson. Nelson dumps it down the ice. It's caught in some skates of the 67's. They get it out of the area and get it to Gardner. Gardner into the slot. The shot, that one gets stopped. I don't know if he ever actually got a piece of that or just fanned on the shot. Sent into the Ottawa zone. Terrien pushed in the boards. Gardner finds the puck, drops it back to Constantini, and he sends it down the left wing side. It looks like it's Smythe on the, check that, Barlas on the other side, and he dumps it in. Played around on the near side. Terrien looking to get it out. Barlas stops it at the blue line. His pass up ahead is blocked by Christopoulos of the Battalion, and he dumps it back out. 8 minutes to play in the period. Constantini with the puck in his own zone for the 67's. Now he gets it ahead down the right wing side for Dever. Dever knocked down by Turley. Turley finds the puck for the Battalion behind his own net. He gets pushed into the far side corner and loses the puck in the process. Sent to the line, Smythe. Over to Matier. The shot goes in well wide of the net into the far side corner. Play back in behind the net. Back there is Dever. Dever working down his near side boards. Plays it into the goal line to Tolnay. Tolnay comes away from the net, goes into the corner, is pushed off the puck. Loose puck on the near side boards. Christopoulos battling for it there. They move it down. Jackson trying to clear it. Stopped. He'll try the other side, and this time he does get up to Ertl, but Ertl lost it coming out of the blue line. 7:10 to play in the first period. Still no score. Dever working down his right wing side. Dumps it into the North Bay zone. Stonehouse chases it for Ottawa. He gets pushed off the puck by Kennedy. Kennedy flips it back to the near side boards as Petrov tries to chip it out. That gets stopped by Constantini. Constantini of Ottawa. He loses the puck on those boards from Petrov, and he gives it to Kennedy, who sends it down the ice on the right wing side to Tarasevich. He drops it to Jackson over the blue line. Jackson trying to play it up ahead for Petrov, but he couldn't connect on the pass. Play back in behind the net in the Ottawa zone. They get it up to Boucher. Boucher gets it ahead to Gardner, moving through the neutral zone. Gardner up to the blue line into the North Bay end. It's dropped back to the line, played in behind the net, picked up, wraparound chance, Boucher stopped, centered, and he can't get a shot off. Now it's to Constantini, across the left side, shot comes in, Robertson makes a save. Play continues here as it's off the far side board, still inside the North Bay zone. Ottawa try pass off the boards on the far side, that doesn't work, and North Bay are able to get it out. 6:10 to play in the first period, still no score. Inside the Ottawa zone, it's Tarasevich with it. Into the corner to Petrov. Petrov drops it back to Tarasevich. Tarasevich works down his near side board, sends it to Hislop. Cross to the right side, that's Nelson. His shot gets through, but it's a save made by Donoso, keeping that pad down and steering that one away. Playing on the half boards in the Ottawa zone, and the 67's clear it. Nelson will chase it down the ice with 5:45 to play. The Seattle Kraken third-round pick, and Nelson gets around to the near side boards to Hislop. He sends it down the ice. It's Van Steensel who deflects it into the zone. Play into the far side corner. Wakely, check that. Arnsby and Romani battling for it over there. Still dinging away at it in the corner. They get it free. Set up to the center, to the circle to Hislop across to Nelson. That shot goes wide. Playing on the half boards with 5:15 to go. North Bay trying to keep the puck alive in the attacking zone, but the 67's find it, and they get it out of the area. Down the left wing side, that is Mayich coming in. He plays it in the corner. It's knocked away from him by Nelson. He sends it around the near side boards for Van Steensel, who gets it out of the zone. But it's Muse picking it up for Ottawa. He clears it over the glass and out of play. And with 4:54 to go, we've reached our mid-period break, and we'll send it to break now.
This period is brought to you by Canadore Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we're back here in North Bay Memorial Gardens. 0-0 the score. Shots on goal 7-3 in favor of the Troops through the first 15 minutes and change. And my goodness, I hope Matt Sukram really lubricates his vocal cords well after that run of play, as basically the Troops and 67's not being considerate to our intrepid play-by-play man and basically making him talk the whole time. So, Matt, now that you've had a couple of seconds to rest, how are you feeling now?
I am doing well. This is how you want this heavyweight tilt to go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, North Bay and Ottawa, the clear favorites at this point in the OHL Eastern Conference. Ottawa's coming in, looking to rebound from just their second loss of the season. They lost to Erie in, that's in a game where you probably think if you're Ottawa, you want to erase that from memory. They were up 4-1 in the second period, and then they let Erie score 3 straight power play goals in that second period en route to a 6-4 loss.
Boy, we know a little bit thing about blowing 4-1 leads, don't we?
As Leaf fans, yes we do. Playback underway. The 67's with control in the North Bay zone, but the shot towards the net is blocked, and it gets cleared out of the area. Maytier fires it right back in, the Sioux native. North Bay off that jump in, are able to clear it. As they carry it into the Ottawa zone, that's Jackson. Plays it into the corner. Coming out in front is Bloom, takes a shot, he scores! It's all about the Bloom as Josh Bloom gets the Battalion on the board, 1-0.
He's the one who likes all our pretty goal songs here in North Bay, as he's able to get his second goal in green, his second goal at home in as many games at home. And what a strange goal is that, as Donoso got a piece of it, but he didn't get enough of it. Then afterwards, it was Mattier getting a couple of shots in with Ertl after the goal, who they basically didn't really seem to appreciate each other too much after that goal. So we'll have to watch if that overlaps here at any point. And if you're just joining us now in Ottawa, the Battalion just took a 1-0 lead here on a goal from Josh Bloom, his second with the troops.
Don't tell them that. They're going to turn it off.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a shot coming in from Boucher, and that one is stopped by Robertson, and now a lot of rough stuff going on in front of the net. And it looks like cooler heads will prevail. Yeah, we just we'll get a check on if our friends in Ottawa are tuning in or not, but we're so happy when they do eventually join us to have them on board. No, it looks like the Cowboys game is still going on right now. And they're up 28-13. So the Cowboys can keep kicking ass, and we'll be fine with that. So
everything's turning up Matt Sukram.
It certainly is. So Justin Ertl gets another point here, as that'll be an assist for Ertl. That's 20 points on the season for Justin Ertl, the Dallas Stars draft pick, who has really come on strong in the last couple of weeks.
He has indeed, and maybe it's because he heard Mr. Chris Dawson up here last week saying, as a Dallas Stars fan, he's like, man, I really want Justin Ertl to do a little bit more. And then Ertl goes off for 4 points. So Chris Dawson, good luck here up in the broadcast booth for Justin Ertl and the North Bay Battalion. So I gotta sewer him while he's here in attendance as much as I can.
Right.
He's my color guy on Saturday for the Trappers game, though, so I might get it back tenfold.
Busy weekend for the Frontline broadcast crew, and we'll break all that down for you in a minute. 3:25 to go in period number 1. It is 1-0 for the North Bay Battalion, but it's the Ottawa 67's who have felt control a lot of this period. Mayich with control of the puck at the blue line, takes a shot, and it's off the crossbar and ricochets right out of the zone. Oh my goodness, and the 67's come so close to tying the game. Now there's another chance in front, and Robertson makes a stone-cold save on that one. Cooper Foster thought he had his 11th goal of the season, but Robertson sticks out the glove side pad and denies him on that one. Man, oh man. Robertson, he's trying to get some games under his belt. Now he's forced into a starting role because of the injury to DiVincentis, and he earns a lot of stripes from his coach in a sequence like that. Play still underway. One-time shot from Monty, stop. Rebound chance is denied him as well. Back out to Nelson, and shoots, scores! Kid Nelly with a rocket, and the troops lead 2-1.
And Ty Nelson going right over there and slamming the boards. There are Battalion fans there, but he saw the one Ottawa 67 jersey there and basically slammed the board. And I'll say this now before our friends from Ottawa join the broadcast. Ty Nelson really doesn't like the 67, so if he can get the Battalion on the board here like he just did, I'm sure that feels really good. Of course, he told us in not safe for broadcast words that he's not a fan of the 67's, but yeah, Ty Nelson with a howitzer from the point, and you don't see that too often. A lot of people say the slap shot in hockey is a dying breed, something that used to be the staple of hockey. When you see Ty Nelson out there, the way that he winds up, the slap shot is alive and well.
Now the play is being reviewed. I'm not sure if they're checking for whether it could have been an offside into the zone or
hand pass,
what
maybe.
what the issue was going to be there. But should this stand, that's going to be Ty Nelson's 9th goal of the season. It'll be his 23rd point overall. And it will be on his 112th shot of the season, which leads all Battalion players. You might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of shots. Well, you're right, because for comparison's sake, the Ottawa 67 shot leader is Brady Stonehouse, and coming in the game, he's got 72. So yeah, Ty Nelson rips that puck. I mean, that's averaging, we're 20 games into the season now, that's averaging about 5.5 shots a game.
Quick math, something that we're not all really good at.
I may have had that stat in my head coming into that one.
You're still a smart man. You never, ever unveil beneath the curtain, Mr. Wizard of Oz over here. But it looks, Ty Nelson just keeps ripping the shots from the point, and we talked about it in the beginning of the season where you said Ty Nelson could not only just lead defensemen offensively this year, he could be in the top 10 in scoring.
I said he's going to be a top 10 scorer in the league, buddy.
And you know what? He's doing everything to prove you right so far. I don't think he's there right now, but he has had a great sophomore season here in the OHL. And I remember when Alex Ovechkin first came into the NHL, everyone was like, wow, this guy shoots the puck a lot and he scores a lot of goals. Yeah, well, of course you shoot the puck a lot. You want to if you're a goal scorer, right? And Ty Nelson wants to really show off his offense from the blue line. So that just never really stuck with me, why people would dog a guy for shooting the puck a lot. Well, he shoots the puck. Why? Like, you want to shoot the puck. That's the name of the game.
That's how you score goals.
Yeah.
For Ty Nelson, again, if this counts, it'll be his 9th of the season. That ties his career high. He had 9 goals last year and 51 points through his first 66 career OHL games.
How appropriate is plus minus last year's plus 24?
Was plus 24, yeah. Number 24 with a plus 24. This is going for a lengthy review. And again, we're not sure if they're what part of the play they are reviewing. I mean, that one clearly went in the net.
Oh, yeah.
It could be a review on the entry into the zone. It might be an offside. They could be reviewing for a hand pass, but it looks like the officials are getting a decision here, and so we'll wait to see.
No goal.
And it's no goal.
Oh, here we go again.
So forget all those stats.
On the bright side, if Nelson scores, we can argue, hey, we've already given you the stats. But that's 2 goals now here at home. For a hand pass is the call. All right, whatever. But anyways, that's 2 goals now on home ice that Ty Nelson has been denied. And the last one being Jack Hennigan on the call. I gave him a little bit of a ribbing there in Powassan while I was doing the PA. I said, Jack, buddy, that was an awful callback. And he says, hey, I'll worry about my job if you worry about your job. And I'm like, all right, I can't argue with that. I'll give you that one for sure. But Jack's not out there.
Yeah, that's a tough one to take back. And again, we're not privy to the replay up here, so we can't really make a judgment on that either way. But so they'll reset and they put the clock back to 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
When the hand pass would have happened.
Yeah, that's when it would have happened. So now the Ottawa 67's only trail by a goal. And again, they have not trailed by a lot of goals this season. So, I mean, they are outscoring teams 98-52 coming into this game. Ertl in on the left wing side into the Ottawa zone. Muse picks it up, plays it to the far side boards, and it's out quickly. Nelson with a hard tap at it. Now brings it back into his own zone. Pass across into the blue line. And off that pass, there's a slash being called. And so now not only do the North Bay Battalion lose their 2-goal lead, but now they're going to be shorthanded as Jackson is in the box for 2 or less.
Well, this is kind of reminiscent of that game against Kitchener where they tied up the game, it felt like, and then it was called back, and then Kitchener goes down on the shorthanded attempt and scores. But this Ottawa 67's team is a team you don't want to give man advantages to. They have 28 goals on 85 chances, good for 32.9% of the league. And if you think that's high, that's because it is. They're first in the league. The Battalion at 84.5%, though, have the third best penalty kill in the league coming into this one.
And that penalty kill gets to work here for the Battalion, but they can't win the draw. It's Rohr with the puck. Sends it into the corner for Stonehouse. Back behind the net. There's a hard hit, but the puck comes back up to the point. Mateer is there. Played across to the left side to Tolnay. Tolnay at the line gets pushed by Arnsby, and the puck gets cleared over the blue line. There are a couple of Ottawa players deep in the zone, so they have to take a long check, or a long skate all the way back into their own zone and regroup as the Battalion gets some fresh legs out there. Pinelli into the zone. Dumps it in the half boards. Picked up by Tarasevic as he blocks the shot. Tarasevic comes out of the zone, feeds it in front of the net, looking for Wakely on the far side, but can't get it to him. 1:05 remaining in the period. It's a 1-0 North Bay lead with 1:05 now remaining on the North Bay penalty kill. Boucher coming into the zone. He gets stopped at the blue line, and it's cleared again. Constantini with the puck. Sends it across to the far side. Boucher picks it up at the blue line. Boucher sets it up. A pass. It's blocked by Wakely. Wakely going down the ice on a breakaway. Wakely to the backhand. He gets denied.
What a save.
Beauty save by Donoso to stop Wakely on the shorthanded breakaway. The 67's keep play going here. 30 seconds remaining in the period as they bring it in the zone. Constantini at the line. His shot's blocked off the body of Bloom and into the corner. It's down to the point. Constantini across the left side. Shot in. Save made. Kicked out of the zone. 15 seconds to go in the period as the Ottawa 67's bring it back into the North Bay zone. A lot of stick checks on the near side boards with 2 seconds to go. Puck comes loose. No one's going to get to it. And the Battalion, they score twice. Only one of them counts as they lead Ottawa 1-0 through the first 20 minutes. Courtney?
The North Bay Battalion really coming out and I think having a really good period, and that's the way you want to set the tone against the 67's team. We talk about how they've come in, and we talked about on the pregame show with Derek about how they've come in and have 18 wins in 20 games. I don't think anyone picked the 67's to be a top-tier team like that, and at the same time, I still think they come back down to earth a little bit, but still, you don't luck your way into 18 wins in 20 games. So
2 of those against the North Bay Battalion.
Exactly. And they played a pretty good period, but I think the Battalion were a little bit faster, a little bit meaner, and they played a better period all around. I think they will have a 7-second power play to start the second period, so we'll see if that results in anything. But as of right now, the Battalion, to me, looked like the better team through 20 minutes.
All right, so thanks for your comments, Courtney, and thank you for tuning in on the Frontline broadcast. You're watching the Average Joe's Frontline broadcast on the Frontline YouTube page, and we're also happy to be joined tonight by our friends in Ottawa on TSN 1200. First Peter Intermission with Derek coming up right after this.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Welcome back, friends, into Memorial Gardens, where after one period of play, the North Bay Battalion with a 1-0 lead over the Ottawa 67's. Let's jump right to the scoring summary. 1 goal in that first period. Kyle Jackson, his 11th of the season at 15:49. Bloom and Ertel with the assist on the Jackson goal. 1 penalty in that period, also going to the North Bay Battalion's Kyle Jackson. He went off for slashing at 18:07. So the Ottawa 67's will be on the man advantage for 7 seconds when the second period gets underway. Taking a look at the shots, Battalion outshooting the 67's 9-4 in that first period. And again, neither team with a power play goal in the first 20 minutes. Face-offs, North Bay Battalion outdrawing the Ottawa 67's 9-3 in the face-off circle. A light night in the OHL, only 2 other games going on, and both of those are late in the first period of play. Down in Erie, the Otters are hosting the Sioux Greyhounds and currently leading 1-0. And then in Peterborough, the Petes have a 2-1 lead over the Sudbury Wolves. No games in the NHL tonight. Thanksgiving Thursday in the United States today. No NHL contest to speak of. There is, though, 3 Thursday day games, or one-nighter, in the NFL. As already today, the Buffalo Bills have defeated the Detroit Lions. That was a 28-25 squeaker in Detroit, with the Bills coming away with that game. And just under a minute to go in Dallas as the Cowboys are leading the New York Giants 38-13. And one other game later tonight, the Minnesota Vikings host the New England Patriots. That's set for an 8:20 kickoff. And then looking at the NOJHL, the Powassan Voodoos are off tonight, but they did fall last night. Their first loss in their last 11 games. They fell to the Espanola Paper Kings by a score of 2-1, and that was in overtime. So even though the Powassan Voodoos win streak ends at 10 games, they are still on a point streak for 11 consecutive games. Now they'll be at home tomorrow evening. They'll be hosting the Hearst Lumberjacks, and then on Saturday, the Cochrane Crunch are in town to take on the Powassan Voodoos. All those games could be seen right here on the Frontline Broadcast YouTube channel. And now, we talked about Josh Bloom in the pregame show. He was our player to watch this week. He's got an assist on that goal by Kyle Jackson, and he was also the guest this week as Matt Suckerman and Courtney Kenny sat down to talk with him on the Frontline Podcast. Let's listen to a little snippet of that interview now. Sorry about that. A little bit of technical difficulties getting the audio through the system onto the YouTube channel with that Josh Bloom podcast interview. If you want to go find that interview, you can go log on to the Frontline broadcast or onto the Frontline podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcast, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube podcast, and go give them a subscription, subscribe, and follow them weekly, as they will have updated interviews with Battalion players. And also this week there was an interview with Alex Little of the Powassan Voodoos, the captain of the Powassan Voodoos. And now I'd like to welcome back Courtney Kenny to our first intermission. Courtney, you've had the opportunity to see Alex Little in person live down at the Powassan Sportplex many a times.
Yeah, he's really fun to watch. He's very graceful with his skating. He kind of looks like, you know, you can tell the difference between a figure skater and a hockey player. He's a hockey player that has a figure skater's like stride, and that's about as technical as I'll get, because I can't skate at all to save my life. So I used to be able to when I was a kid. Now I've kind of lost it. They say it's like riding a bike; it comes back. My ankles say otherwise. But Alex Little, yeah, he's just really fun to watch. He's leading the Voodoos in points right now. As a defenseman, as a 19-year-old defenseman, so he could come back next year and even more so dominate the league. But he's really fun to watch, much like the rest of the Powassan Voodoos right now.
He has a really interesting story of how he got to the Powassan Voodoos. He came up here to play the U16 Midget Trappers. Yep. He's from Minden originally. Came up here, billeted with Scott Ray and his two sons and wife. Got to see the Battalion up close, eventually getting drafted by the Battalion before making his way to Powassan.
Yeah, part of the U18 draft in 2019. So the Voodoos, of course, hopping all over that to get him, or I believe it was the 2020 U18 draft, actually. So he never really got a chance to show off at camp. He might have had a chance to make that team, considering they were still a team in flux at that point. And they were bringing in guys like Ty Nelson and Dallin Wakely. But what really hurt him was that second draft, you know, the next year, where that now plugs up some more spots, because now you want to see, you know, other guys out there and whatnot that you've just recently drafted in the priority selection, who are likely going to get priority over the U18 guys, right? So might have hurt Alex Little a little bit. I think he still lives with the Rays and he loves it there. So good to see him is settling in real well here in North Bay and Powassan, and really kind of becoming a fan favorite down with the Voodoos.
Yeah, and you can catch, like I said, the rest of his interview on the Frontline podcast, as he sat down with Matt Sukram for a quick one-on-one interview, in which Matt, also alongside doing the podcast, also wrote a really well-written article about him for Bay Today.
He really did. It's again, you can find that at baytoday.ca. Matt Sukram giving his player profiles. I believe he has a couple more in the works as well, with more Voodoos players as well. I heard maybe number 11 Tucker Shields, so keep an eye out for that one. Should be good as well. And of course, we're going to work to integrate more Voodoos players, more local hockey players into the podcast as well. Although the only thing that's a problem with that is that Matt went for 20 minutes with Alex Little. We went for 30 minutes with Josh Bloom. Then we still have to come in with our final thoughts. So this episode is one of our longest yet, at over an hour and a half. So you got to dedicate some time to it. It's like going to see a kids movie in the movie theaters, though. They usually run around an hour and a half as well.
Yes, and really well done podcast. I was able to listen to it on my trek today to Berks Falls, and I had to do it on the return because of the length of the episode. I've touched on base of what is happening with the Frontline broadcast with the Powassan Voodoos this weekend. Busy weekend, but also we're going to have the U18 Trappers back on the Frontline broadcast this weekend, as they will be playing against the U16 Trappers. It's going to be an interesting night. You're going to have the call on Saturday, and I will be there at the game Sunday. So Trappers versus Trappers. I'm putting my money on the Trappers.
That's probably a good bet. If I was putting my money down, I would probably put my money down on the Trappers. So might have a little bit of conflicting interest on that one there, Derek, as the Trappers take on the Trappers. I already talked to the U18 general manager, Mike Burrito, about it. I said, what do I call you guys this weekend? I can't say the Trappers and the Trappers. but that's how it is. So yes, it will be a busy weekend tomorrow night. As Derek already touched on, they're playing the Hearst Lumberjacks, the Powassan Voodoo's, that is. We'll have that game live from the Sportsplex. And then Saturday, we'll have a game at 3:30 with the U18 Trappers taking on the U16 Trappers. Saturday evening, they'll be taking on the Cochrane Crunch. That's the Powassan Voodoo's. And then, as Derek mentioned, he'll have the call Sunday with the U16 and U18 Trappers. All from Powassan, too.
Yeah.
This is the only time that we're in this building this weekend.
Weird. And I'm going to be up at the university because I'm going to be covering basketball, both the men's and women's. The Toronto Varsity Blues are in town for Friday action, and then the Toronto Metropolitan Bold will be here on Saturday for basketball action. So we're busy nonstop. And you know what? This was a really busy first period of play for Matt Sukram. Only 12 face-offs. He was going. We didn't get the halfway break to the 5-minute mark. Yep. It was just a lot of action, and it was really, really dominated by the North Bay Battalion.
It felt like an NOJHL game, as our at-home sick producer Ben Long said. What is this, an NOJHL game with a mid-period break not coming till the 5-minute mark? Just so you know, Ben, we're replacing you with Drew. He's been doing a fantastic job in your stead. So big shout out to Drew Ferris for being here to help us out with this game. Just going to show that we can now start threatening Ben with being fired, right, Derek?
Exactly. And again, the player to watch getting involved in on that goal by Kyle Jackson, picking up the assist. Down on the ice, they thought it was actually Josh Bloom that scored the goal. The Battalion also had another goal scored by Ty Nelson. That was waved off after a lengthy review due to a glove pass. And then a couple breakaways. The first one, Van Steensel looked to beat Donoso underneath the bar. Unfortunately, that again was reviewed. No call. And then Wakely with a great effort on a breakaway shorthanded. Tried to slide it between the pads. But Donoso, again, coming up big. But Charlie Robertson, a couple big saves in that first period. Yeah,
Robertson showing his mettle in that one for sure. Although there was a big post late in the period. And Donoso looking real strong on those two breakaways for the Battalion. I thought for sure with the way that Wakely had been playing, it was going in the net.
Yeah, so we're ready here for the second period from Memorial Gardens. This is the Frontline broadcast by Average Shows. You can catch us on the YouTube channel and also tonight on TSN 1200 in Ottawa. We'll be back momentarily with all of your second period action.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Play underway here in the second period. The Ottawa 67's clear it out of the zone. Rower on the far side boards, looking down his right wing, sends it into the North Bay end. Nelson chips it along the boards for North Bay, trying to get it out. It gets blocked. A secondary chance, gets it up to Bloom, and Bloom gets it over the blue line. It's Tolnay dropping back all the way to his own end, and he gets some support there as the 67's clear it again, but it doesn't go very far. Nelson coming into the zone, sets it up in the middle. Bloom across the left side, they score! Action! Jackson fires it in! And the troops lead it 2-0, just 53 seconds into period number 2.
That will be Kyle Jackson's 12th of the season, as he was credited with the Battalion goal in the first period. If you're just joining us now on TSN 1200 from Ottawa, the North Bay Battalion have the 2-0 lead. And I'm Courtney Kenny, he's Matt Sukram here on the Frontline broadcast on YouTube and, of course, TSN 1200. But yes, Kyle Jackson picking up a goal in the first period, picking up a goal here in the second, and Ottawa down 2-0 with just under a minute gone here in the second period.
He joins Dallin Wakely as the goal-scoring leaders for the North Bay Battalion, 12 apiece. North Bay looking to get the puck out of the zone. Might have got away with a trip there. Tolnay got completely tripped up by Romani. But play will continue, and North Bay bring it right back into the Ottawa zone. Sent around to the near side boards. That's Stonehouse who gets it out for Ottawa. Plays it across to the far side boards. Tolnay chips it along those boards, gets it up to the blue line for Boucher. Boucher holding it right in front of his own bench. Romani digs away and gets it out for the Battalion. North Bay fired into the Ottawa zone. It's off the end boards, redirected right at the goaltender Donoso, and he leaves it there to get it cleared by Smythe. Smythe plays it across to the far side for Constantini. Constantini being pressured here in the zone. Finally gets it back across on the near side to Smythe. And Smythe will clear it down the ice as Gardner dumps it in. Around behind the net, Kennedy picks it up. He goes into the near side corners, and he is hit there. The puck comes loose in the middle. The shot coming in, and the save is made by Robinson. Chris Barlas was all alone in the left side circle. Play continues in the zone. Gardner's shot stopped. Rebound right on the doorstep. North Bay clear it out of the area, and the troops send it down the ice. Tarasevic on the breakaway, all alone. Backhand, he scores! He dragged it from his forehand to his backhand, went over the blocker of the goaltender Donoso, and Nikita Tarasevic has his 6th of the season, and North Bay lead 3-0.
Nikita Tarasevic, one of the players that Adam Dennis and Ryan Houlihan picked for the Battalion to go off offensively this year, and so far he's gone past his numbers that he had in Sarnia last season and the numbers that he had with North Bay as well last season. So, and I asked Adam Dennis, what means to you as a player that's gonna basically, you know he's gonna go off. He says he's always in the right spots, he's always making the right plays, and we saw it that time with Nikita Tarasevic getting the breakaway and really kind of taking the action into the Ottawa zone. So Ottawa now down in a 3-0 hole. The Battalion also lead 11-7 on the shot clock as well, with 17:38 here left in the second period.
Well, the Battalion are starting with the puck a lot this game. They've won 10 of the 14 face-offs to this point of the contest. That one sent in towards the Ottawa zone. Donoso stops it up to the line. Nelson keeps it in, fires it into the far side, sent along the half boards. Terrien knocked down, and a penalty's coming up against Ottawa. It's going to be tripping against the 67's. So not only do they find themselves down 3-0, they're going to be down for a man for 2 minutes or less here, as being led to the box is the rookie Frankie Morelli.
So we gave you the numbers for the Ottawa 67's power play. Now we'll give you the numbers for the North Bay Battalion power play. They've scored 16 goals on 70 chances so far. It's good for 22.9%, or 22.9%, 7th in the league. Ottawa's penalty kill pretty good, almost as good as the Battalion's. It's at 84%, 13 goals on 81 chances. That's 4th in the league.
And interestingly enough, in the head-to-head series, Ottawa has won both games, but both teams are 1 for 9 on their power plays. They were both penalized 3 times in the first game that Ottawa won 4-2, and then they were both penalized 6 times in the game that Ottawa won 4-1. So as play continues here, Nelson feeds it down the right wing boards for Petrov. Sends it into the corner. He flips it along the far side boards. Jackson picks it up for North Bay. Pass across the blue line is out of the reach of Nelson, and he will retreat. 16:35 to go in the second period. North Bay up 3-0. 2 quick goals within the opening 3 minutes of this second period. Bloom tries to send it in the zone. He fans on that. Rohr picks it up and dumps it into the North Bay zone. Following that in is Barless. He plays it in behind the North Bay net, and the Battalion are a long way from where they need to be on the power play here. Nelson sends it down the left wing for Petrov, coming in the zone, gets behind the defense, goes towards the net, and then stays outside. Plays it to Nelson. Nelson back to the half boards. Petrov's pass across the zone, up in the air, caught by Jackson, plays it on the boards. Jackson lost it on the boards as the poke check came in from Foster, and it's off the stick now and into the North Bay bench with 39 seconds remaining in the North Bay power play. 15:57 to go in the second period.
The 67's penalty kill doing its job here against the troops, really kind of keeping them to the outside and away from the front of the net. And the Battalion not really getting anything going here on the power play with 39 seconds left. We'll see a wholesale change in that secondary unit for the troops making its way out on the ice.
Face-off won by North Bay. Here comes Romani, the shot save made. And now everybody looking for the puck. Not sure where it is.
Looks like Costantini has it in his numbers in his jersey. Or not. I don't know where the puck came from. It's the magical mystery puck.
Yeah, well, the officials have found it now. That was weird.
Yeah.
33 seconds to go in the North Bay power play. Arnsby can't win this draw, and Ottawa clear it. And what a big time for the 67's to get it right in the face-off circle. All the way down the ice, Stonehouse is the first one to the puck. But then he gets knocked into the boards by Christopoulos, and that allows Wakely to get some room in his own zone, and he'll bring the puck down the ice, sets it up to Tarasevic. Tarasevic on the blue line across the zone for Arnsby. He drops it back for Christopoulos. Christopoulos' pass across the zone is blocked, and that puck is sent down the ice. Robinson way out of his net to play it and shoots it down the other way. Morelli back onto the ice, so no worse for wear for the 67's, killing off that penalty. Back to 5-on-5 play with almost 5 minutes gone. Into the zone, shot comes in. Robinson with the save, rebound chance. Ottawa scores, and they're going to count it, but that one might be coming back as I believe it's check that it's Jack Dever who clearly swatted it in out of the air, and it's just a matter of how high was his stick when he made contact. Now, we've already had a goal review tonight. That was against North Bay, and it did get called back. And so the officials will be going upstairs to check on this one. There's 15:03 remaining in the second period, and right now it's a 3-0 lead for North Bay, but certainly this one will be looked upon.
Well, they've already taken the puck back to the bench, as that would signal Devers' first career OHL goal. It would be his first goal here as well on the season, obviously, and they are going to review it as every Battalion player within the vicinity of the net immediately motion for a high stick. We'll just have, but I mean, if that's me too, and it clearly isn't a high stick, I would be motioning high stick too to at least get them to look for it. So the Battalion looking for a callback, as they already had a goal called back on them in the first period, as Ty Nelson's point blast was called back on a glove pass a few seconds earlier. And we're going to get a replay here at North Bay Memorial Gardens. And it's a bit of a tough angle, but it was a pretty high stick. So I think if it's any indication from that might mean Devers' first career OHL goal is going to have to wait. The crowd here, they already mentioning no goal. So that's 2 goals called back. Weirdly enough, we saw it last night with New Jersey and Toronto in the NHL. New Jersey had 3 goals called back in that game. Now we have 2 goals in this one called back. One for both sides so far, so at least it doesn't look lopsided like it did in that game.
Well, and there's no debris hitting the ice either.
Yes.
I get why people are going, don't do that and all this stuff, but I mean, guys, it's New Jersey. That's what they do.
Oh, no.
They're not really well known for behaving.
I love it. Oh, no.
I mean, anyway.
Back to your regularly scheduled program.
Playback underway. 14:45 to go as the puck gets shot off a stick and right into the North Bay bench. And now there's some pushing and shoving going on in the Ottawa zone. Petrov, check that Procession is involved for the Battalion. Boucher's involved for the 67's. The officials get in the way quickly, and cooler heads will prevail here. I think one of the bigger talking points at this point of the game is the fact that Robertson, the North Bay Battalion rookie netminder, has looked pretty good to this point in the game, making all 8 saves.
He has indeed. I mean, the only puck that's gotten past him was off a high stick. As now Petrov and that's Pinelli getting into it at the face-off dot, and Petrov slashing him before the puck was dropped. So now Petrov's going to go off for a penalty as he argues his case, going off to go the other, or to get into the penalty box. So if you're just joining us from Ottawa, we missed us touching on the Ottawa power play. Coming into this game, it was at 32.9%, good for first in the league. The Battalion penalty kill at third in the league with 84.5%. But if you're Matvei Petrov and the Battalion, if you're head coach Ryan Houlihan, you're going to be talking to Matvei Petrov about that after the game. You're not going to be happy about that penalty call at all.
Not at all. Petrov himself was not happy about the call either. But, you know, he won't get the last word in that say. So the Battalion up 3-0 with 14:43 to play in this period. Now have to kill off their second penalty kill of the game. North Bay trying to get it out of the zone. Tolnay sends it back up. Now it's Mateer with it. At the line, sends it in. Big save made. Rebound in the slot and cleared away by the troops. Ottawa have really had a stranglehold on this series over the last several seasons. 14-4-0-2 over the last 5 years, including now 2-0 in this season. Here comes Stonehouse back into the zone. That one is deflected off his shot and wide of the net. Shot back around to the near side, and that will clear the zone. 14 minutes to play in the second. 3-0 North Bay lead. Ottawa on the power play for another minute 10, but the Battalion send the puck down the ice. Ertl gets to it. Ertl's tripped up going into the zone, and that will be a call against the 67's. Yeah, certainly you can't blame that trip on the blue line. There was a stick in the way there, and so that one ends 53 seconds into the Ottawa power play, and it looks like it's Rohr going in the box. So that will even things up to 4-on-4 on the ice. And then North Bay will have a 53-second power play unless anything else gets called here.
Well, you know it's a pretty obvious penalty when both referees have their arms up on that one. So for Ottawa, you know, you're not going to get away with one like that. With Ertl getting a chance shorthanded, being hauled down as he tries to make his way into the 67th zone. So as you mentioned, the Battalion are going to get a 53-second power play here at the end of this, but it's going to be 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute and 7 seconds, and the Battalion still have a 3-0 lead in this game.
Face off inside the Ottawa zone. The 67's win the draw. They get it behind the net, and now up ahead to Boucher in the neutral zone. Boucher down the right wing side. He gets stopped. Bloom trying to go the other way on 2-on-1. Bloom down the left side to the line. Nelson coming in, can't get the shot off. Basically runs into 3 players before he falls down and loses the puck in the process. Now Ottawa on the counterattack. It's Boucher at the line, across to the right side. Shot comes in for Constantini. Save made by Robertson, and it's played in behind the net to Hislop. Hislop sends it down the ice, looking for Ertl. Ertl tried to get it to Bloom entering the zone, but it's poked off his stick and sent the other way. Nelson for the troops, quickly up the right wing side to Bloom, knocked off his stick, and Dever finds it. Dever going over the blue line, down the right wing side, takes a shot, save made by Robertson. Dever looking for the goal there, still looking for his first career OHL goal after he had one called back. We're 7 minutes into the second period, North Bay up 3-0, and they'll have a full 5-on-4 power play in 17 seconds.
A few moments ago, we lost the puck in the Ottawa zone. Charlie Robertson on that one lost it in his pads, had to dig it out. So the puck itself looks like it's a little bit afraid out there and wants to hide in the equipment of players as long as it can. Still 3-0 for the Battalion.
Play inside the North Bay zone. The 67's with control. Mateer sends it around to the near side. Picked up off the half boards and sent to the point to Smythe. Smythe's shot to the middle is blocked by Jackson. He moves through the neutral zone up on the right side to Wakely. Wakely's pass to the middle is bouncing around. He's trying to get it back in a big battle with Barless. And Barless wins that battle and sends it down the ice as the Battalion get their extra guy out there and now have a 5-on-4 for 40 seconds. 12:30 to play in the second period. 3-0 North Bay as they move it back into the attacking zone. It's in the far side corner. Stonehouse is there. Jackson digging away at it. He sends it to the point to Kennedy. Across to Christopoulos. Sending towards Wakely. And his deflection is up high over the glass and out of play.
So as you mentioned, the Battalion now on the power play, their second opportunity of the game, but they only have a limited time to do so and set up. But setting up here will help with a face-off in the offensive zone for that secondary unit of Van Steensel, Arnsby, Romani, Nelson, and Hislop out there. So interesting that with 26 seconds left, they're going back with two defensemen on the power play here for the Battalion.
Yeah, I was going to say, how about Kennedy getting some power play time out there for North Bay? Not a guy you usually see out there. North Bay win the draw. They get it back to Hislop at the line. Hislop to the half boards to Arnsby. Arnsby across to the far side to Nelson. He overskates the puck, and Ottawa will come out of the zone with it. Tolnay racing down the ice to the middle, to the left side circle. His shot deflected and goes to the far side corner. Arnsby picks it up, gives it to Nelson. Nelson runs into Gerrois back there, and that allows Ottawa to get control of the puck as they are back to 5-on-5 now as well. So the penalty kill units of either side doing a fairly decent job in this one. But really, 5-on-5, the game has completely changed. Both teams having really good scoring opportunities. North Bay, the ones that making it count so far, they're up 3-0 with 11:40 to play in the second.
Yeah, Ottawa has really bounced back with some good opportunities of themselves, but they're not able to find a way past Charlie Robertson. Robertson, the goaltender of note in that loss in Ottawa for the Battalion, so getting his second look here out of the 3 games played against the 67's this year. So thanks to an injury to Dom DiVincentis, the Battalion's usual number 1 netminder.
Michael McIver, who's playing with the U18 Trappers locally, is backing up Robertson on the bench, and with 3 games in 3 days, you'd think he will see his first taste of OHL action at some point this weekend.
Yeah, interesting for him. His goaltending equipment looking very white on the bench right now, but that's because it is brand new goaltending equipment, because all of his original equipment lost in a fire on the U18 Trappers bus a couple of weeks ago. Thankfully, no one was injured in that, but all the players lost their equipment. But thankfully, Tisdale, the bus line, was able to set up an account here, a Source for Sports in North Bay, and all the players are able to go in and pick out their new equipment. So McIver, his new pads, might see their first real game action this weekend with the Battalion and not with his usual team, the Trappers.
That's right. So just off that draw, the Ottawa 67's ended up taking a penalty. Tripping was the call, so the 67's are back in the box, and North Bay are in control of the puck. Nelson off the draw, takes a shot. That goes wide of the net. Picked up off the boards by Petrov. Back to the line to Nelson. Nelson to the right side, Jackson. In the middle, tried to find Bloom, but his pass is stick. Up on the far side boards, Petrov sends it right in front of the net, bouncing through the slot. It's on the stick of Jackson on the boards. To the middle, down low, Erdl across the slot. His pass gets blocked, but he gets it back off the rebound, into the corner, to Bloom. Bloom right in front to Petrov, and his shot is stopped as Donoso gets a piece of it. Played in behind the net. Erdl with it. He skates back to the far side corner. He finds Bloom at the half boards. Bloom falls down. Tolnay takes the puck away and sends it down the ice towards the goaltender Robertson. 1 minute to go on the North Bay power play. Into the zone is Bloom. Bloom back to the line, turns it over. Racing down the ice was Gardner, but Nelson outskates him to the puck and gets it out of the North Bay zone quickly and all the way up to Arnsby. His pass in the zone is blocked and it's sent the other way. 40 seconds to go in the North Bay power play. They lead 3-0 halfway through the second period here. It's Wakely bringing it out of the North Bay zone. Down the middle to the left side. Romani in front of the net. Takes a shot. And it's blocked by Donoso, who keeps that pad down on the blue paint. On the far side half boards. Puck is cleared again. North Bay have to chase it. Robertson, stretch pass down to Romani. 2-on-1 in the zone. Romani, pass across the slot is deflected away. Off the boards. Wakely's there. Plays it in behind the net. Arnsby into the corner. Sets it up to Romani. The shot coming in. Save made. In and out of the glove of Donoso. Arnsby gets it back to the line to Christopoulos. Across the left side, Nelson. Back to Romani, back to Nelson at the blue line. Nelson pitching in, takes a shot. It's off a shoulder of a player in front. Ricocheted off the glass, down to the blue line, and now sent back in the corner. Anthony Romani of the Battalion comes out in front, and his shot goes off the blocker and over the glass. 9:09 to go. We've reached the halfway point. 3-0 in the second period, North Bay.
This period is brought to you by Canadore Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we thank you for listening along in Ottawa on TSN 1200, and thank you for watching us on the Frontline Broadcast YouTube page presented by Average Joe's Tonight. 3-0 lead for North Bay halfway through the second period, Courtney.
Really got to give credit where credit's due. He's allowed 3 goals in this one, but he's made some really tough saves, and that's Max Donoso for the Ottawa 67's. Again, he's allowed 3 goals on 15 shots, yes, but the 67's aren't making it easy on him as he's been left alone. He's had Van Steensel come down and on a breakaway. He's had Wakely. He's now had Romani come down. He's had a 2-on-1. Tarasevich, although that one did end up in the back of the net. And quickly, just a special, as we saw it on the boards here, special 18th birthday. Congrats to Michael Potaloo, the Battalion centerman, who's out there right now to take a draw.
Face off inside the Ottawa zone to Donoso's blocker side. And it's the 67's who win the draw. They get it out ahead to Stonehouse, and he dumps it in down the left wing. Into the corner, Lucan's there for North Bay. He tries to play it out. Boucher blocks it. Gets it to the right side to Muse. Muse sends it in behind the net. Finds Stonehouse. Stonehouse held on those boards. Now he goes back in the corner. Sets it down the point, trying to find Muse, but it's under his stick and sent down the ice. Henry Muse was another of the Ottawa 67 players who's coming back from that World Under-17 Challenge. Play back in behind the net into the North Bay zone. Sent to the point. Check that in the Ottawa zone. Sent to the point. The shot comes in right at the midsection of Donoso, and he holds on to it for a stoppage and play there. 8:26 to go in period number 2. North Bay up 3-0.
And compared to some of the games we've seen the Battalion play here at home, the shots on goal aren't very high for either team right now. 17-10 in favor of the Troops, and it would indicate that these two teams have been playing a lot of defense in this one, kind of keeping people away from taking the shots, although to some, 17-10 might seem like a lot of shots, but again, we've seen some games where the Battalion have been up to 25, 26 shots already at the 8-minute mark here of the second period, so Ottawa doing a good job of limiting the Battalion's chances, but the Battalion capitalizing on what chances they have had.
North Bay win the draw again. They're trying to control the puck in the Ottawa zone, but very quickly on the boards, it's cleared out of the area by Ottawa. Sent back into the Ottawa zone, picked up behind the net by Morelli. He plays it to the far side, and it's up to the blue line, but kept in by Hislop. He dumps it into the far side corner for Ertl. Ertl centers at the shot. Save made by Donoso. Back in behind the net as the puck stays in play. It's Bloom. Sends it to the line, Hislop. Across to the right side, Kennedy. Kennedy takes the shot. Save made by the goaltender Donoso. So Ryan Olahan has switched things up on his defensive line with Hislop now being out there with Kennedy. And I haven't seen who Nelson's been paired up with, but it was Nelson and Hislop paired up at the beginning of the game.
Nelson and Turley. So he just switched out those two guys, as it was Kennedy and Turley at one point, and Hislop and Nelson.
North Bay played twice on the road to finish this weekend, while Ottawa will head to Peterborough for the game on Saturday, and then they'll host Sudbury on Sunday to finish their weekend. 7:30 to play in the period. Back into the Ottawa zone. Shot goes wide of the net. Into the corner. Wakely's there. Sent back around to the far side. It is cleared out of the zone and chased down the ice by Turley into the North Bay end. Turley turning in behind his net. Tries to clear. That's blocked. Ottawa coming in. They send it on net. That's a save made by Robertson. Picked up on the near side boards by Constantini. Constantini lost it. Wakely gets it by him, sets it up to Petrov coming in on the breakaway. Petrov decides to drop it back, but he couldn't get it to Wakely, and the play is broken up on the back check by Muse. Ottawa get the puck cleared out of the zone. Christopoulos chasing for North Bay. 6:45 to play in the second. Here comes Romani into the zone. Romani one-on-one, goes right towards the net, drags it, but Donoso makes a poke check save there. Played up on the far side boards, and Ottawa are able to clear. They trail 3-0 with 6:30 to play in the second period. Dumped into the North Bay zone. In the corner, Lukin's there. He gets pushed off the puck. Trying to control it there is Kelly. Kelly in behind the goal line. Lost it. Up to the line, Constantini trying to keep it in the zone. Lost the puck, and now it's sent down the ice for Van Steezel coming in. Past the defender. Gets in front of the net, dangles, and then he's pulled down. Still got a shot off, but it just went wide. What an individual effort there by Van Steensel. And you got to think, Ottawa head coach Dave Cameron is not liking how much room there is through the neutral zone for North Bay to pass the puck right now. That's about 3 straight plays where they found a guy at the blue line, and he's been sent in either one-on-one or one-on-none, right in on Donoso. Play continues inside the North Bay zone, The pass at the line is stopped. Arnsby gets it. Arnsby comes down the right wing side. He fires it in. Blocker save made by Donoso. Play continues in the Ottawa zone. Poke check on the blue line. Tolnay gets it back out to the neutral zone, but it's Bloom there for North Bay. Bloom sends it down the middle. Picked off by Mateer. Mateer to Tolnay coming in. Big save made. Rebound in the slot, but it's steered away by Erdl. Erdl's clearing attempt is off a skate over the glass and out of play. 5:15 to go in the second period. 3-0 North Bay.
Well, the Battalion have gotten their shot total up to 20 now, and Ottawa's up to 11. But as you mentioned, I was thinking it myself that Ottawa in the neutral zone, there's almost no defense, as the Battalion are able to sneak in behind them a couple of times now, and we've seen it throughout this game that North Bay is able to get behind and really kind of create some havoc and get in on some grade A scoring chances on Donoso. And to Donoso's credit, he stopped them more often than not.
You know, we talked about Ottawa's goal scoring prowess earlier on in the broadcast. They've scored 98 goals coming into today's game. They've been held to just 11 shots, though, in this contest so far, and the fewest shots they've been held to in a game this season is 18. They had just not just 18 shots. That's not a bad total to end with, but that was in that November 9th game against the Kingston Frontenacs, which they ended up winning 6-3. So 6 goals on 18 shots isn't a bad shooting percentage in that game. Again, off the draw there, Podolou took a penalty, so now Ottawa will have a chance to get those shot totals up, and for Ottawa listeners, a goal is what they're hoping for. With 5:12 to go, this will be another power play opportunity for the 67's, their third of the game. Face-off violation. There you go.
Did we just harmonize? Break out the microphones. We're going to be recording an album. So the Battalion right now, as they just kind of wait to drop the puck, they're looking for a good penalty kill here, whereas Ottawa looking to get some offense going. You mentioned their lowest total was 18 shots. They have 11 right now. But as you mentioned, a good opportunity here with 2-man advantage to get some more shots. And right off the hop, they get one. Robertson knocked that one away.
Cleared up to the line. Yeah, they're going to say touched a player on the bench, as Ottawa's Luca Pinelli thought that he had held the line pretty steadily there.
He did hold the line, but on the rebound, what happened was the puck came up and hit where the glass curves in the bench, into the bench area, so the puck went out of play as he stopped it. The puck came in pretty hot, so it bounced off him pretty well.
Sent out of the zone, Mateer chasing this one back, sets it down the right side for Pinelli. Pinelli didn't like the entry there, so he'll turn it back and send it all the way into the Ottawa zone. North Bay have killed off the first 30 seconds of this power play. Third time in this game that North Bay have been shorthanded. Pinelli entering the zone, plays it in behind the net. Christopoulos is there for North Bay. Holds it for a little bit of time to kill there. Now he tries to get it out of the zone, but it's off his stick, goes up high, comes back down in the far side zone, or in the far side corner. Picked up again by Christopoulos and cleared down the ice. 4:15 to play in the second period. North Bay up 3-0, and they've got just a minute remaining on the kill here. Ottawa have come storming back in that face-off category. They're actually outdrawing North Bay 15-4, where at one time the Battalion had 10 of 14. Ottawa bring the puck back into the zone. Cross pass to the near side. Shot goes wide of the net. Tyler Boucher was wide open, and so was the blocker side of Robertson, but he could not bury it. He'll try again. Boucher in the left side circle. To the middle, Constantini. Sends it on net. Blocker save made by Robertson. It goes in the near side corner. Flipped around to the far side. Bloom with it, and Bloom just going to hold it there. Now it gets dug out. Across to the left side. The shot comes in from Boucher again. That one goes high on the one-timer. Picked up by Bloom on the far side boards for North Bay. He clears it, and that'll effectively end the penalty kill. What a job by North Bay to fend off that attack from Ottawa, who are now 0 for 3 on their power play chances. North Bay in the Ottawa zone. Can't get a shot towards the net. It's off a skate and cleared out. Kennedy with it in the neutral zone. Dumps it in. Ottawa looking to play that one back out. Constantino down his right side. He'll drop it back behind his net to Muse, and now Muse brings it out, sends it down the ice, looking for Barlis going in the zone. Barlis feeds it up ahead to Gerrois, but it's poked away by Robertson right in front of the net. Turnover, coming back in the zone is Gerrois. He sends it on net on the backhand. The stop is made by Robertson. Picked up off the near side boards by North Bay, and they will clear the zone. Tarasevic dumping that one in. Sent around on the far side. Sermon's there. He gets knocked down. And the North Bay, but the Ottawa 67's are able to clear it out of the zone. Dump back into the North Bay end. Robertson leaves it behind his net. Set it up for Tarasevic. His attempt to clear it is blocked by Pinelli. He plays it in the corner. Back down to the point for Morelli. Morelli's shot on net. Blocker save made by the goaltender Robertson of the Battalion. Under 2 minutes to play now in the second period. North Bay still ahead 3-0. Puck cleared over the glass and out of play by Tarasevic with 1:50 to go in the second.
And since the beginning of that power play for Ottawa, Ottawa's really kind of taking control of the momentum here, getting a whole whack ton of shots. They got 6 actually from between that power play and now. So it's now 20-6 in favor of the Battalion. So looking like Ottawa's going to get more than 18 shots in this one, Matt. So, but the Battalion still find themselves up 3-0 in the category that matters the most.
Face-off won by the 67's. They move it into the North Bay zone in the corner. That's Foster. Plays it to the half boards. Down to the point, Morelli. Morelli out of the zone. And the 67's will have to retreat. North Bay control the puck in their own end. And they fire it down the ice. Romani tips it in the zone. Gets to Van Steensel on boards. Plays it up ahead to Arsby. He tried to play it to the blue line, but North Bay were in the middle of a change, and so they can't hold the zone. But Christopoulos finds it in the neutral zone and fires it right back in. 1:10 remaining in the period, and it's Romani holding it on the end boards in the Ottawa zone. Van Steensel's trying to help him out. Couple of stick checks there right along the end boards. Romani lost his helmet, so he'll have to get off the ice in that instance. The puck comes out of that area, and Ottawa look to get it out of the zone. Boucher down the right wing side over the blue line, takes a shot, and it looks like his stick snapped on that play, so the shot just kind of wobbles into the corner, and North Bay are able to get it out, and it's Jackson moving down the ice. Jackson driving down the right wing side, tries to go to the net, plays it in behind the net. Erdl flips it in the far side corner. Lukin's there, plays it back behind the net. Bloom's there now. Bloom tried to center it for Erdl. Couldn't get it to him, and Ottawa will carry it out of the zone with Stonehouse coming down the left wing side. 20 seconds to go as Stonehouse sends it into the corner. He's being pinned there by the Battalion. Tries to get it up to Tolnay. Back into the corner. 5 seconds to go. The puck just stuck along the boards. 2 seconds, and time is going to run out here in the second period. The North Bay Battalion come out and score 2 quick goals within the opening 2 minutes and 21 seconds of the second period, and that extends their lead to 3-0 through 40 minutes of play.
Yeah, the Battalion through the first 3 quarters of that period really being the team to beat in this one real quick with the 2 quick goals that you mentioned and really controlling the pace of play. But once Ottawa got that power play, they got their legs back under them and were able to get some shots on goal. So we'll have to see if Ottawa is able to take that momentum going into the final frame, or if North Bay is able to stifle that and continue this lead.
All right, you're watching the Average Joe's Game Day broadcast right here on the Frontline Broadcast YouTube channel, and you're listening on TSN 1200 in Ottawa's second period intermission coming up right after this.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And welcome back inside Memorial Gardens, where the North Bay Battalion added another 2 goals in that second period to have a 3-0 lead over the Ottawa 67's through 2 periods of play. Let's look at the scoring summary of the second period. Kyle Jackson with his second of the game, 12th of the season, 53 seconds into that period, made it a 2-0 lead as Josh Bloom, Ty Nelson picking up the assist on the Jackson goal. And then at 2:21 of the second period, Nikita Tarasevich with his 6th on the season from Petrov and Wakely. That was the only goals of that second period, and it is a 3-0 lead for the Battalion as they go into the dressing room. Few more penalties in that second period as Frankie Morelli for slashing went off at 2:42 for the Ottawa 67's. Petrov went off for slashing at 5:17. Then Vincent Rohrer for tripping at 6:10. 8:37, Will Guerriere went off for tripping for the 67's. And then finally, Michael Potalou for the face-off violation at 14:48. Shots on goal in that second period, the Ottawa 67's with 12 for a total of 16. And the North Bay Battalion with 11 for a total of 20 so far in the 2 periods of play. Power play, specialty teams, both teams are 0 for 3 on the man advantage in the first 40 minutes of play, and the face-offs getting a little tighter there as now the Ottawa 67's have won 16-15 of the face-offs. But let's take a look around the OHL as there's another 2 games on tap tonight. In Erie, the Sioux Greyhounds scoring 2 goals in that second period as the Greyhounds lead the Otters by a score of 2-1. And late in the second period, the Peterborough Petes now with a 3-2 lead over the Sudbury Wolves. In the NHL tonight, there is no games on the schedule as this is the American Thanksgiving Thursday. So no NHL on the schedule tonight, but there is 3 games on the NFL schedule. 2 of them are already finals. The Buffalo Bills survive a 28-25 victory over the Detroit Lions. And then just seconds ago, the Dallas Cowboys finished off the New York Giants 28-20. And midway through the first quarter, the Patriots getting on the board now and are tied with the Vikings 7-7 in that game. Like I said, midway through that first quarter of play. And now let's bring back Courtney Kenny for our second intermission break. Well, Courtney, very exciting hockey. I again went down to ringside between the benches. And just the speed is just that much quicker than what you really realize up here in the broadcast booth. And the amount of times that the players have with the puck and how long it takes to make that decision to make that pass or shot is a lot faster than what we actually think. But the Battalion doing a great job dominating the first 40 minutes of play.
They've done a fantastic job. And although in that back half of that period, I mentioned to Matt during the game itself that Ottawa, since they got that last power play opportunity, it looked like they were really stifling the Battalion. They took over momentum a little bit, so it looked like they came to play a little bit. They will be down a man at the start of the third period, though, however, so just waiting on official word on the website itself for us to tell us what's going on, as it's not telling us. I don't know if you have it.
No, and I didn't mention it in the recap.
Okay, well, Ottawa will be down to a penalty to start the
and that's Brady
period.
Stonehouse that will be in the box for the Ottawa 67's. But I really want to talk about the play of Charlie Robertson.
Yes.
And just, I found the really difference tonight that I've noticed is how well he's tracking the puck.
Yeah, one thing that we saw in the game for the Battalion against, when he started here against the Kitchener Rangers, was a lot of shots that didn't have anybody in front of him found a way into the back of the net. And he was kind of, not looking lost, but yeah, like you mentioned, his tracking of the puck didn't really seem to be sharp that game, which is really unfortunate because watching Kitchener lose the night before, pretty handily in Sudbury, and then watching them come here to North Bay and beat the Battalion, it kind of sucked. And then within a week, Kitchener finds a way past the Battalion again, but it is what it is. But Charlie Robertson looking a lot more in tune with the game in this one, and I think in a stretch where he's going to play at least 2 of 3 games this weekend, with the absence of Dom DiVincentis, you really need to see him come out strong here on this first game of the weekend on Thursday against the Ottawa 67's. And we've talked about it before. This is a 67's team that's only lost 2 games in 20 games. So he's looked really good so far. He's looked the part through the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, and the Ottawa 67's are coming off of a loss to the Erie Otters the other night.
Yep.
Again, difference of the second period was another disallowed goal. That was probably the one time that I thought Robertson wasn't able to track the puck properly, but it was knocked in with a high stick.
Yeah, and everybody with the Battalion right away were motioning for high stick, and in real time, where we are up in the broadcast booth, it didn't necessarily look like it was that high until you saw the replay, and it was very obvious it was a high sticking call. So referee's getting a right one on that one, and really both teams now losing out on a goal call in this one, but both goal calls definitely warranted. I do have to say though, I've talked about him a little bit. I've been really impressed. Although he's allowed 3 goals on 16 or on 20 shots against, I've been really impressed with Max Donoso's play in this one. He's made some really tough saves look easy in this one, and the Ottawa 67's players in front of him have made it really tough on him, as we've seen many breakaways. How many breakaways we see in the second period alone going down on
3.
him, right?
So that's 5 breakaways
Exactly.
at least in this game.
And he stopped all but one.
Yeah,
Tarasevic got one past him. So Max Donoso really playing well here in this one, and proving why he's kind of that top dog in Ottawa so far this season.
So we talked about our 2 goaltenders. Now let's recap our players to watch, as brought to you by Mike the Financial Guy.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
For the Ottawa 67, Jack Mathieu is the player to watch, a -1 in the plus-minus category, only 1 shot on goal. And then looking at the North Bay Battalion, Josh Bloom, 2 assists on the night. You kind of like that because we are from the North Bay Battalion. And again, it's nice to see when we pick those players to watch to get on the scoreboard. I think it's been 4 straight games now for our players to watch, at least from the North Bay Battalion side.
Yeah, not so much in the other teams that we cover, but when it comes to, but that's because you're here for the Battalion, so you're the fortune teller. You're the one that picks it all up and gets it. But it's funny because you hear a lot about the hockey news curse, like where if you're a cover athlete on the hockey, or on the cover of one of the hockey news, you're going to be injured, or if you're a cover athlete on Madden, you're going to be injured that year or something, But our player to watch athlete always seems to have a pretty big game every single time that we get that going. And Josh Bloom once again showing why the Battalion went out to acquire him, and Jack Mattier not really doing so much on his end of the bargain so far for the 67's, but
he is logging a lot of ice time.
He's been out there a lot.
We don't have those numbers of ice time, so unfortunately we can't really give you those exact numbers of how much time he's been on the ice, but him and Sermon have been out there quite often against the top lines of the North Bay Battalion. Those two are the shutdown pairing for the Ottawa 67's.
They have been for sure, and they're trying to do their part for sure. But the Battalion just offensively so far, especially those 2 quick goals at the start of the period. I mean, within the first 2.5 minutes, it was 3-0. For the Battalion as they got 2 goals. Quickly one, the Kyle Jackson one coming within the first minute, and Nikita Tarasevic less than 2 minutes later. So
I know there was some sad news today in the hockey world with the passing of Borgen Salming of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Probably the first of the Swedish national players to come over and making a big impact in the National Hockey League. I know it's a big, strong subject for you. He passing away at the tender age of 71 from ALS, better known as Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah, more commonly known, of course, and we had the great campaign a couple of years ago for the Ice Bucket Challenge, where people tried to bring awareness and raise money to end ALS. It is really one of the worst diseases out there, the way that when you research it and figure out how it affects the body, how it attacks the body, and what you're essentially left with by the end of it, it's not a pleasant thing to deal with at all. And Boreas Salming, of course, really bringing the disease to the forefront once again, as using his profile. And I think what shocks people is everyone knew that this day was coming. What shocks people, I think, is how quickly after we saw him in Toronto just a couple of weekends ago at a Maple Leafs game, really kind of where, it was sad to watch him, be supported by Daryl Sittler and Matt Sundin and that. But to see him come back over and know that he's loved one last time was really touching. And I mentioned this just before puck drop with Matt. On a personal note, it's really sad because as a kid, when my mom met my stepdad, I was fairly young. I was 7 years old, and at that point, his mom had already been diagnosed with ALS. And by the time I met her, she had already lost her ability to speak. And just kind of watching her go through what she went through was really sad, and the toll it took on my stepdad. It is a terrible disease, and it really hits close to home. So see Boreas Salming suffer, but on the bright side, there's going to be some relief now for his family, knowing that he's no longer suffering, and that he's been able to put it past him. So just really sad all around with the disease, and really sad with the guy that was so much in the public eye when it comes to hockey.
It was, and unfortunately, he was able to get that recognition a couple of weeks ago. The Maple Leafs being able to put out a starting lineup of 6 Swedish players, which was something really spectacular that the Maple Leafs were able to do. And it's just so quickly since that appearance he made at the Air Canada Centre before today, and just unfortunate news in the media and the sports world. But talking closer to home, the advertising for Wake Sakes, just something really great that Dallin Wakely is doing within the community. Not only just asking for donations of warm clothing for the homeless, but he's also going to the gathering place and cooking meals along with fellow North Bay Battalion players Tuesdays to help those homeless people get a nice warm meal.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of great work here in the community for sure. And if you're in the Ottawa area and you ever find your way coming to North Bay, check out Wake Sakes, helping out the gathering place, which is, like Derek mentioned, a food kitchen for the less fortunate. He's doing a wonderful job helping out and really getting things going here. And finally, now the players are able to integrate themselves back into the community as we're now post-pandemic. they're really doing their part in trying to get out there and become a part of this community, especially a guy like Dallin Wakely, who is drafted in 2020, can't play his rookie season, comes into the league last year and, still a lot of restrictions and whatnot on what the players can do. So it's good to see that in his first year, without the restrictions, he's able to go out and have a voice in the community. And obviously he still has a voice in the community with Indigenous Youth Day as well. So Dallin Wakely kind of becoming that flagship player for the Battalion when it comes to these good causes.
And it was nice to see him get invited to the Ottawa Senators camp this year and then to the main camp. But after tonight, the North Bay Battalion are going to be on the road for the next 2 weeks. We won't have another home game until October 8th or December 8th when the Sioux Greyhounds are in town, and that's going to be Teddy Bear Toss night here at Memorial Gardens. After tonight, they're going to be down in Hamilton to take on the Bulldogs tomorrow evening, and then in Niagara to take on the Ice Dogs on Saturday afternoon. But there's still unfinished business to do here at Memorial Gardens as the Battalion lead the Ottawa 67's by a score of 3-0 with 20 minutes left to play. When we return to the Frontline broadcast, you can catch it on YouTube, or if you're listening to it in Ottawa on TSN 1200, Matt Sukram will rejoin Courtney Kenny for all of your third period action.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens. I'm Courtney Kenny. He's Matt Sukram. Play's just underway here. The Battalion on the power play and already up 3-0 in this one.
It's the Ottawa 67's looking to move it out of the zone. They get stopped at the blue line, sent into the near side corner. Josh Bloom there for North Bay, plays it down at the point to Nelson. Nelson at the line, gets pushed off the puck as Pinelli is able to get him out of the zone. Nelson gets it back at his own blue line, brings it down the left wing, flips it around the boards. It goes all the way to the far side. It's Rohrer who picks it up and dumps it down the ice. 1:10 to play on the penalty to Stonehouse. 19:08 remaining in this third period. North Bay up 3-0 as they bring the puck right back down into the zone. Bloom behind the net. Can't hold it there. It comes out in front, and it's picked up by Gardner. He sends it down the ice looking for Boucher. It's past his stick, and it ends up behind the net for Robertson. The Battalion netminder sends it to the near side boards for Petrov. Petrov knocks it off the boards and gets it out to the neutral zone. We thank you for watching along on the Frontline Broadcast YouTube channel presented by Average Joe's, and we thank you for listening in Ottawa on TSN 1200 as the Battalion are down to 30 seconds on their power play, their fourth power play of the game. They are 0 for 3 to this point as they bring it into the Ottawa zone. Petrov to the boards, now to Tarasevich, moves to the middle, takes a shot, and that's stopped by Donoso. It's the first real good chance for the Battalion on this power play. At the blue line, now Tarasevich moving it into the left side corner, flips it to the point. Back to the middle, Christopoulos, back to the right side, hash marks, Romani's shot goes in, save made by Donoso, out to Wakely, down low, out in front, and Tarasevich can't get the shot off. Stonehouse out on the ice. Arnsby has the puck in the middle of the zone for North Bay. The Battalion captain carries it behind the net, sets it up to Tarasevich, who drops it to the blue line. Christopoulos' shot comes in, and that's blocked by a body in front of the net. Lukin pushes the puck back in the corner, behind the net, set out in front, Arnsby, and he cannot bury it. Arnsby finds the puck behind the net, sends it across to the far side in the Ottawa zone. Picked up there by Barlis. He can't clear. Christopoulos coming back in. Sets it up to the left side circle to Tarasevich. Tarasevich goes around a defender. Goes to the right side. Sets it there. Ertl's shot on net is stopped by the goaltender. And he holds on to it for a stoppage in play. 17:21 to go in the third. North Bay had 3-0. And the Ottawa 67's, who have been in control of almost every single game this season, have now found themselves outscored 8-0 over their last 4 periods of play going into this third period against North Bay.
Yeah, and that's going against the Erie Otters on their loss that they're coming off of. Not good numbers if you're Dave Cameron and company with the 67's, and the Battalion are going to be looking to keep them off the score sheet here. But Ottawa, again, the offensive juggernaut throughout the early part of the season, as a quick chance comes in, and that's Van Steensel as the puck came off the end boards and is out front of Max Donoso, and the Battalion now make it 4-0, so make it 9-0 since that Erie Otters game, Matt.
And what did we say in the second period that was really hurting Ottawa's chances is those stretch passes, blue line to blue line, by the North Bay Battalion. And that happens basically again there as the Battalion are gifted one in the neutral zone. And they go all the way down the ice, and that's going to be the end of the night for Max Donoso, who came into this game 12-2 with a 2.84 goals against average and .894 save percentage through 15 games. He'll turn things over to Colin McKenzie, who is 6-0 with a 1.59 goals against average and .936 save percentage.
Wow.
Not bad numbers for a backup.
No, I would say so. Wow, what a turn of events here for the North Bay Battalion. And that's reminiscent of the Troops team that was last year, where they like to use that end plate a lot. We saw Brandon Coe and Mitch Russell use it almost every game.
So play back underway, 3 minutes into the third period. North Bay now lead 4-0. Petrov into the zone. His pass through the blue line is blocked, and the 67's bring it right back in. They got 17 shots on this game, and there comes number 18 from the left side, but it's blocked again by Robertson. And they were flying up and down the ice, keeping pace with the North Bay Battalion in that first period, when they had some moments in the second, but really the Battalion have been able to shut down those top two lines of the Ottawa 67's. Back into the zone, Pinelli's shot towards the North Bay net, just wide. Picked up on the far side board by Constantini. He sends it for Gardner. Gardner's stick is checked as he went to take that shot, and Ertl completely disrupts that scoring attempt by the Ottawa 67's. It's sent all the way down into the Ottawa zone, holding it behind the net, and now they're clear it down the left side boards for Gardner. But Van Steensel, check that Romani in there on the forecheck. Plays it in behind the net. Picked up by North Bay. They send it to the line. His shot comes in. And it's a save made by McKenzie. His first of the game.
And the Battalion really doing a good job of keeping Ottawa stuck in their zone. And that's one thing I've really noticed since that trade with Saginaw. You brought it up on this week's episode of the Frontline Podcast with Braden Hislop. Really kind of keeping things together for the Battalion at the blue line. And, Josh Bloom even mentioned that he thinks that Braden Hislop's going to be a sneaky good part of that trade. Well, he's already shown it with he's able to hold that blue line so well. He's so strong at keeping the puck in. And, just makes it a nightmare if you're the defending team trying to get out of their own zone.
I'll tell you a little bit about Colin McKenzie, who's now in the game for the Ottawa 67s, relieving Max Donoso. 8th round draft pick by the Ottawa 67s in the 2020 OHL priority selection. Second year in the OHL. He got into 8 games last season with a 4-0 record, 3.83 goals against average, and 845 save percentage. I remember talking to Kenny Walls, and Kenny, if you're listening, we hope you feel better. I hope to see you in North Bay later on this season. And that was one of the big talking points last year, is who was going to be the number 1 guy for the future for the Ottawa 67s, when both guys were starting to put up really good numbers down the stretch. 15-12 to go in the third period. 4-0, the North Bay Battalion lead. And what's amazing about this Ottawa 67s team and what James Boyd has done is that every player on their roster right now was drafted by Ottawa, either in the OHL priority selection or in the CHL import draft. They haven't made a trade to acquire a player in quite some time.
Yeah, and they traded away a guy like Will Cranley, the goaltender, so that's really impressive that they're all homegrown talents here in Ottawa's organization. Whereas you look at the Battalion, and most of them are homegrown as well. As we got a quick little stoppage here where they're kind of wondering what's going on, but they've a lot of the Battalion players are homegrown players. But you look at a guy like Kyle McDonald or Nikita Tarasevich, or recent acquisitions like Hislop and Josh Bloom have come in from other organizations. The Battalion have done a lot of their work, yes, through the draft, but they've found a good way of supplementing this core with solid players through trades coming up throughout the season as well.
15-12 to go in the first period. Again, we thank you for watching on the Average Joe's Frontline Game Day broadcast and listening in on TSN 1200 in Ottawa. And so after all the talking going on the ice, the officials decide they are going to penalize defenseman Derek Smythe. And I think that's all that's going to happen here.
I'm so confused.
And now Smythe is leaving the box. One of the things I got to tell you I love about the OHL is how good they communicate things from the ice to the broadcast booth. I mean, they have that down to a T, don't they? Smythe is being ejected from the game. I wonder if it's one of those notorious mouth guard violations.
Well, even then, that's only a 10-minute misconduct, and there's 15
you're right.
minutes left. So, yeah, we've seen an uptick in those recently.
I was listening to our buddy Mike Farwell on the OHL podcast, and he said that week that the memo went out from the league to say, hey, guys, we need to start watching this to the officials. There were 23 called over the weekend across OHL games. 23 mouthguard violations called. So it looks like we're about to get play back underway.
So Smythe is being given a game misconduct, so it's 5-on-5 hockey.
And unfortunately, we don't really know why it is. There's some scuffling going on in front of the bench, but then the officials just took a long time to decide. He threw the puck. Okay.
Threw the puck over the glass.
Interesting. He was just trying to give someone a souvenir.
Yeah.
Play underway. Constantini sends it to the middle of the North Bay zone. It's picked up by Pinelli. He goes back to the boards, drops it to the line of Constantini across the left side. Roar's there. Roar knocked down, tripped up, and Roar is going to draw a penalty for the Ottawa 67, or draw a power play for the Ottawa 67s, as North Bay will be penalized there. 14:30 to play in the third period. Ty Nelson will be led to the box, and that's not something we say too often, as Nelson has only taken 4 minor penalties all season long. For a guy that's on the blue line and playing as many minutes as he does, Nelson very rarely gets called for penalties, and so that's a big guy to have off the ice for the next 2 minutes for the North Bay Battalion. They lead 4-0, but this Ottawa team 2 goals shy of the century mark in goals for, and we're only at the 21 game mark of the season.
Oh my goodness.
So they are going to be looking to at least get on the board here. And it's not out of the question. I mean, the 67 saw this in their game against Erie. who opened the floodgates in the second period. They are hoping to change their fortune in this one and trying to do that here against North Bay. Off the draw, North Bay clear. It's brought back into the zone, and North Bay clear it once again. Out of the net, McKenzie gets it out of the zone to the neutral zone, but jumping on the ice is Christopoulos for the Battalion, and he dumps it right back into the Ottawa side. Boucher behind the net. He brings it down the left wing side. Dumping it into the near side corner. Lucan is there, and Lucan will carry it into the corner and just shield it there. Lucan and Christopoulos involved. It comes up to the blue line. Constantini there. Sends it to the half-boards. Muse tries to play it in front of the net. That one's knocked away and out of the zone. And Bloom trying to get to that loose puck in the neutral zone. Almost got there on a breakaway, but a desperate attempt on the back check by Boucher to push it away from Bloom so that he didn't get over the blue line with clear control. 45 seconds remaining on Ottawa's fourth power play of the game. They bring it back into the zone. And they lose it at the line. And now Tarasevic is racing towards the loose puck. Tarasevic on the breakaway in the zone. Shot save made by McKenzie. Nikita Tarasevic was looking for his second goal in the game on his third breakaway of the game. This kid can fly. Coming back into the zone is Rohrer for the 67's. Plays it towards the middle. Mateer gets it knocked away from his stick. Ottawa keep it in the zone. Play on the far side boards. Tolnay down low. Back up high to Mateer. At the blue line with 1 second on the penalty clock. Back to Mateer. The shot comes in. Wide of the net. Rebound chance out in front and steered away. Robertson is knocked down in front of the net by Stonehouse. And that's going to be a penalty coming up against the 67's. Nelson out of the box. Feeds it to Wakely in front of the Ottawa net. And it's off the mask of McKenzie. And a ricochet out to the neutral zone. And North Bay have the extra attacker out there with Robertson on the bench for the time being. North Bay with the puck in the neutral zone. Jackson going in. Jackson takes a shot. It goes wide of the net. Picks up his own rebound in the corner. And that will give the Ottawa 67's a touch on the puck. And finally blow the play down. So right as the Battalion kill the penalty, they get the power play. It will be their fifth of the game. They're 0 for 4 so far on the night. But they haven't needed it as they lead 4-0 with 11:56 to go in the third period.
Yeah, when you see a goalie hit the ice, you have to think as Stonehouse is showing the gate the second time this period. For the record, his first penalty this period was for roughing. We had no idea what the call was right away, but now it is up and it is for roughing. But Stonehouse back in the box for the second time this period. When you see a goalie hit the ice, you know a penalty's likely coming. And then Kyle Jackson being interfered with in the 67's zone, looking for a second penalty on the call, but the referee looked at him and just shook his head.
North Bay win the draw. Nelson from the blue line plays it to the half-boards of Petrov. Back to the blue line. Nelson trying to shovel it along the boards. Caught up in some skates. It finally comes clear into the corner. That is where it's taken over by Mayich. Mayich knocked off the puck. Ertl finds it. Ertl centers it to Nelson. Nelson off his backhand, plays it to his forehand. Pass across to Jackson, and the shot is stopped by McKenzie and cleared out of the zone by the 67's. And there goes the first 30 seconds of the power play for the North Bay Battalion. Now Nelson sends it down the ice. It's Jackson coming in on the left wing side. He gets stopped, and Ottawa taking the puck away from him and clear it down the ice. Nelson first one to it in his own zone in front of his goaltender Robertson. He sends it down the middle for Jackson. Jackson tries to poke it ahead. That's blocked by Boucher, and the Ottawa 67's go the other way with Boucher leading it into the zone. He goes into the corner, trying to hold the puck. He lost it, and now Bloom looks to go the other way on a late change. It's a 2-on-1 in the zone. Bloom down the left wing side. Shot, and it's a shoulder save made by the goaltender McKenzie. Off the boards, picked up by Ottawa and cleared down the ice. 45 seconds remaining on North Bay's power play. 10:30 to go in the third period. North Bay ahead 4-0. Out shooting Ottawa 29-18 to this point of the game. North Bay get a pass down the ice, and icing will be called, as I guess it never did touch Arnsby's stick in that neutral zone area.
North Bay Battalion looking to go 0 for 5 now on their power play chances. Although they've had some good movement in the Ottawa zone, Ottawa's just able to stifled them when it comes to the man advantage so far in this game. McKenzie making all the saves he's faced so far. North Bay's now up to 29 shots on the game, and Ottawa's been sitting tight at 18 for a little while now.
Yeah, they've only got 2 shots on net in this period. They came out and had a couple good chances early on in the third, but then some penalty trouble has really set them back in this period. And remember, they are without one of their top defenders in Derek Smythe, who was called for a game misconduct for throwing the puck over the glass at the 4:48 mark of this third period. Out of the box is Stonehouse, and we're back to 5-on-5 play with 9:45 remaining in the third period. 4-0 North Bay lead as it's dumped into the North Bay zone. Kennedy picks it up. Check that Hislop picks it up and sends it all the way down the ice. Deflected into the zone. And it's along the end boards. Ottawa pick it up and clear it out of the zone. There's a hard hit in the neutral zone. Lukin lines up Dever, and the rookie goes down. And now it's Podolou going the other way. His shot stopped. Rebound chance. And that one's blocked as well. Podolou took a hard hit after that shot. And then behind the net, there's a big hit. And now 2 players are going at it in the corner. It's Terrien getting tangled up with Frankie Morelli. 2 rookies trying to drop the gloves, but they've got each other in headlocks. And the officials will jump in quickly to break up that one. But now at center ice, Lukin and Stonehouse are grappling each other at the collars, and there's an official there trying to get those 2 players apart as well. Terrien being led to the box, Morelli being led to the box, and we'll take a timeout. 4-0 halfway through the third period.
This period is brought to you by Canadore Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks for more information.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And of course, again, the 3 Stars coming up post-game here today. We'll let you know who those guys are as Derek and Matt go through the post-game show with you. The Battalion, we're just trying to figure out what the penalties are here, as Morelli and Terrien are in the box as of right now.
Before we get there, though, once again, want to thank you for tuning in on the Average Show's Frontline Game Day broadcast on YouTube and listening in on TSN 1200 in Ottawa. Hope you're enjoying it. It's been a pleasure to bring you this contest, although it's been a little one-sided for the North Bay Battalion. So, Ottawa listeners, sorry for this game being a little one-sided that way. And, you know, it's kind of wild to see that Ottawa is in a bit of a rut now after starting the season 18-1 before running up against a tough opponent in Erie on Monday. And now that game got rescheduled. It was supposed to be played, I believe, on the Saturday, but because of the snowstorm that swept through the area, they weren't going to make it down to Erie. So they had to play that just this past Monday. And now they get 2 days of rest, and then they come into North Bay on Thursday and have to go up against a formidable foe in the North Bay Battalion, and they just haven't been able to match them to this point of the contest. So it looks like right now on the ice, Thomas Sermon. I thought it was Morelli down there.
He was showing the gate. They sent him to the locker room.
But they're showing a 5
for Terrien.
Oh, I read that backwards.
Yeah, so 5 minutes for Terrien, 2 minutes right now in the box for Ottawa, but Morelli was shown the gate.
But remember, what kind of led to everything was a retaliatory hit by one of the 67 players behind the net, and I believe it was Frankie Morelli.
Yeah, I believe so too.
So still a little bit to sort out here.
Sarge really likes Joan Jett, apparently.
Getting the kids involved, 2,500 plus in the building tonight in Ottawa, in North Bay. I was going to say, if you're from Ottawa and have never been to a game in North Bay, you should definitely come and check one out. It's a great atmosphere. friendly folks. Would love to have you here. And I say that because I've been to games in Ottawa when I used to travel with the North Bay Battalion. And honestly, TD Place, one of the best setups. And I'm not just saying this because we're on TSN 1200 tonight. I've always thought this. That is a great rink to see a game in. That's an awesome complex for a junior hockey team. To have the CFL team have their complex right beside you. You're right downtown in the heart of things in Ottawa. You know, just a skip throw away from the Byward Market. I mean, that is a great setup down in downtown Ottawa. Much better than where the Senators play.
You know what, though? As somebody from North Bay, when I go to a Sens game, I love where the Sens are because I can get in and out really quickly. But,
as opposed to seeing games in Toronto?
So I'm not a fan of that. There are a smattering of Ottawa 67's jerseys in attendance here this evening, so the 67's fans, they do travel well. But yes, I've been to one game at TD Place. It was last year. We called the game from TD Place, and I have to say, it was in late October. It was a very warm day, and Derek Lindemann and our producer for that game, Ben Long, and we had this surreal experience of watching the battalion warm up and do their stretches, and we got to go walk out into one of the end zones on the CFL field, and just to stand there in that environment and look around was just, wow, this is amazing. And what a setup they have in Ottawa for sure. You are right in saying that. And just to walk around the arena too, the nice wall that they have for, the alumni and Brian Kilray and all that stuff. Really nice setup. And then
whoever got the contract to do all that decor work, I mean, that is something, you could spend, the entire pregame just walking around the outer concourse in Ottawa, because like you said, they've got players listed, they've got important moments listed. It's a really nice setup there in Ottawa.
It's very nice. And then the nice thing when you walk out is that there's no shortage of restaurants after the game for you to go to if you want to visit, or if you want to see a game. Maybe it's a Sunday afternoon game and you're wanting to make a day of it so you can go out and have a good meal afterwards. There's no shortage of restaurants in the area, and obviously the Rito right there on the doorstep as well, making for some picturesque pictures.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's a great setup for a junior hockey team. Contrary to teams like where the Mississauga Steelheads play, really in a industrial kind of complex. This is kind of the same as where North Bay used to be in Brampton, where the Powerade Center was. They did a better job over the years kind of renovating around the Powerade Center. Is it still called the Powerade Center? I can't remember right now, but
we know the Battalion don't play
but
there.
The Ottawa 67's couldn't have picked a better spot to set up their junior hockey club. And so if you're in Ottawa, hopefully you've been to a game down there. If you're in North Bay or are watching from our North Bay audience side, hopefully you do get down and check out a game down in Ottawa. And the other thing is, their game day presentation is excellent down in Ottawa. They have live tweeting on the boards. You can pick. Sometimes they do games where you get to pick the music that the DJ plays, and your tweet will actually come up there. And they played one of my songs one night. It was country night, and I was working on the country radio station at the time. So I said, hey, can you guys play some Luke Combs? And they did. They threw it up there. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, still trying to figure out the penalties that are being assessed here. The officiating staff are still in front of the penalty boxes trying to figure out exactly what's going to get called. And again, it all started, there's a hit by Lukin at the blue line. Puck goes into the zone. Podolou gets nailed after he gets the shot off. And then behind the net, one of the Ottawa players gets nailed. So you're trying to figure out which one of those hits is the instigator that led to the fighting. And man, after the first period zoomed by, this period has really come to a bit of a crawl here in the third.
Yeah, so one thing our viewers and listeners will know is that I'm fortunate to have a good enough relationship and rapport with Dallin Wakely's grandfather, and he's texting me right now being like, it's a 4-0 game. How do all these reviews grow interest in the game. He is not a happy camper in this arena right now as he's texting me. So if you see me looking at my phone, I have to respond. It is Wakely's grandfather.
But he's got a point.
He does.
You do want to grow the game. You know, I said this to quickly change topics. I said it about the World Series. How do you grow games when it starts after a lot of kids are already in bed by 8 o'clock, and it's not going to end till midnight?
Yeah.
How, you know, there's kids that, even in high school, if they're playing team sports and have to get to like a 7 a.m. practice, there's no way they're staying up to midnight to watch the end of a World Series game.
No, exactly.
Right?
And I wouldn't be watching it either if it's the Houston trash can. So.
Well, here's the other thing.
Oh, now now we have Terrian's penalty completely taken off the board, but he's still in the box.
I was just going to say, to contrast that, you have a league like the NFL who will switch games around to make sure the most eyes can get on.
Look at today, Thanksgiving in the States.
That's it.
You know, you usually only ever see one matchup on Thursday Night Football. It's been football all day long. So
Sarge getting applause. He just did the worm.
Looks like we're about to get going here.
And he's working overtime tonight.
Yeah.
Keeping the fans pumped and keeping them in the game.
They're going to need to send his suit to the dry cleaners after this one for sure.
It looks like we finally have everything sorted out. The only penalty that's up there is the 2 minutes to Frankie Morelli, who was already sent into the locker room. So hopefully they're like...
He's probably already done his shower.
I was going to say,
street clothes.
Hopefully they don't have to bring him back into the game now.
Yeah. Whereas Terrian is still in the box for the Battalion, so I'm assuming he has a misconduct. Oh, and now we get a buzzer, so now they're going to come back over to the scorer's table and figure things out.
It's got to be each guy's getting 5 for fighting, and then 2 minutes to Morelli for instigating, if you want to call it that, although I don't know if he's deserving of that. I think it should have just been 2 guys sent off for fighting, which is why this whole thing is bizarre, because, you know, if I'm down there, I would just say 5 minutes for fighting for each guy and leave it at that, but clearly the officials didn't like some of the hits that were on the ice, and that's what they reviewed.
No. And to set the scene right now, all the 67's players are still at the bench except for Mattier was just over there trying to plead the case with the referees. Now we have the 2 referees in the 67 zone.
It's almost like they're holding a protest saying we're not going out there.
Yeah.
We're not sending a line out there until we feel like we have gotten a sufficient answer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Battalion are ready to go. They're ready. They're already lined up for the face-off.
They've got their power play unit out there with the 4 forwards in Jackson, Ertl, Bloom, and Petrov. The 1 defender in Nelson. I like the choice by the DJ to play "Let's Go" by the Ramones here.
Blitzkrieg Bop is the politically
correct
term for the song.
Yeah,
my music official.
I've got a couple of fans in the stands going, "What's going on here?" Yeah, it's.
Well, I'm still getting text messages going to the tune of "unbelievable, not good to grow a fan base." So it's not looking too good in the fans. As now the 67's are bringing players out.
This has been almost a 10-minute delay, and it's the second straight game at Memorial Gardens where we've had about a 10-minute delay. In the officials. I admire them for trying to get the call right, but yeah, it comes to a point where that process has to be sped up. So, at the end of that, Frankie Morelli gets 2 minutes for cross-checking, 5 minutes for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct, and it leads to a 2-minute power play for the North Bay Battalion as Terrien gets 5 minutes for fighting as well, even though that was not really a fight.
No, I didn't see any gloves come off.
Yeah. So it must be a thing where the officials are saying it's starting to get out of hand. We need to calm it down. So playback underway. 8:35 to go in the period. It's a 4-0 North Bay lead. Nelson at the line, across to the right side to Petrov. Petrov in behind the net to Ertl. Centers it to Bloom, but he just fanned on the shot. Didn't get all of it. And it's picked up by the 67's and sent down the ice. Nelson leaves it behind the net for Christopoulos, who then in turn leaves it behind the net for Tarasevic, and he'll bring it down the left wing into the neutral zone, sends it down the ice. Off the end boards, played around on the near side. It's Arnsby there for North Bay. He lost the puck, but now Wakely finds it, sends it to the line. Hislop coming in, tries to center, that's blocked. Back to the line across the left side. Wakely gets a shot, but doesn't get all of it. And it just slowly trickles towards the net. At the line, Christopoulos goes in the air to catch the puck and doesn't let it clear. And then as he gets the shot towards the net, that one is steered away and cleared by the 67's. 20 seconds remaining on the North Bay power play, their 5th of the game, with 7:25 to go in the third period of this 4-0 Ottawa lead, and that one is sent down the ice as well. Ottawa, well, we'll put it this way. They've scored a goal in every single one of their 20 games so far this season. No, you're not going to...
Not
going to touch that one?
No, not right now.
Sent down the ice.
Ask me again in 7 minutes.
Icing called against North Bay, and a couple of hard shots taken on either side after the whistle went there. So, yeah, it's getting chippy out there to say the least, as Podolou is going to be sent to the box for roughing with 7:02 remaining in the period.
Matt, you and I are both pretty big baseball guys. If a pitcher hasn't allowed a hit or a walk, or the team hasn't allowed an error, what's one thing you do not say to him?
Nice job, man. Go out there and do it again. Is that it?
No, well, I would say that, but usually you leave the guy alone and you don't mention the perfect game. So I'm not going to touch anything. Or the no-hitter.
Is that what you're not supposed to do?
How many guys on your team have you taken away a perfect game from by mentioning it to them?
Well, not to toot my own horn.
Well.
I threw a no-hitter this year, and I'm the most talkative guy on the bench, and guys are going, dude, shut up. We're 5 minutes into this thing. Shut up. Or five innings into this thing, not 5 minutes. Yeah, anyway.
I'm going to manifest it next time that I'm playing you and that happens.
Yeah. 6:30 to play in the third period. North Bay ahead 4-0. Podolou in the box for 1:20. And Ottawa just can't get anything going in the offensive zone on what is their 5th power play of the game. The Battalion have had 6. Ottawa currently on their 5th. And for two teams that had good special teams numbers coming into this, well, the penalty kill numbers are going to look good after this one.
And they were at number 3 and 4 coming into this game between the Battalion and 67's respectively, so only going to strengthen those numbers for sure.
Ottawa bringing the puck through the neutral zone. They send it down the far side boards. Picked up by North Bay and sent down the ice again. McKenzie stops it in front of the net and picked up behind the net by Constantini. He skates through the neutral zone, sends it off the left side boards and played in behind the net. Picked up on the near side corner by Muse. In behind the net, Nelson finds it for North Bay and he clears it down the ice. 15 seconds to go in the Ottawa power play. Constantini to the neutral zone of Muse. And Lukin comes in and stops that one as he slaps it away and sends it back into the Ottawa zone. Looks like we will finally get back to 5-on-5 play in this period, as out of the box is Podolou. It's into the near side corner in the North Bay zone. Knocked away from that area. Up onto the stick of Procession. Procession down the left wing side. Stops at the top of the circle. Held on to the boards. Puck comes away from that area. Goes to Kennedy on the far side. Kennedy in behind the net for Procession. Procession in on the far side corner. And as the puck stays in that area, they're going to blow the play down. And I wonder if it's because one of the lights came on. Oh, and the nets came off. I was like, is it because the lights were coming on and flashing on the ice there for a second? So I thought the officials wanted to make sure that the the game crew wasn't misfiring off the lights there.
No, looking across from here, you can see that there is a light on the structure right across, and it is moving as there's these basically these strobe lights or club lights, I guess, that move around. I think we can't see the roof from where we are, so I think they're illuminating the roof. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times on this, so.
That was a weird stop.
It was.
But yeah, the net did come off, so that's why. Just weird timing there. Anyway, playback underway inside the Ottawa zone. Down the point. Kennedy's shot comes in. Rebound chance to Romani, and he buries it. Anthony Romani with his 6th of the season to make it 5-0 North Bay.
Kennedy going to get an assist on that one as he set in the shot from the point. It was tipped, and then it hit McKenzie's pad, and he kicked it out right onto the stick of Anthony Romani. It was right there on the doorstep, and able to put that one past it and send a lot of these fans to the gate. As with just over 4 minutes left, it's now a 5-0 Battalion game.
Wyatt Kennedy will have his 3rd career assist. And that's actually back-to-back games with a point for Kennedy. He had an assist in the North Bay 6-3 win over Owen Sound last Saturday as well. Into the neutral zone as play resumes. 5-0 North Bay.
Battalion goal, his 6th of the season, scored by number 15, Anthony Romani.
And the Ottawa 67's really reeling now in this one. Like I said, they came out and matched the Battalion step for step in that first period, and there were spurts of it in the second period, but they really have not found it here in the third. And the 67's have now given up 10 straight goals without scoring one for themselves. Lay back around on the near side. Constantini in the zone. There's a shot on net, but it's stopped by Robertson. Kick to the far side boards. Tolnay trying to get off the boards. He lost it. Poked away by Kennedy and sent down the ice. 3 minutes to play in the third period. North Bay ahead 5-0. Kennedy to the half boards. Tries to play it up to the blue line. Poked away by Lukin. It trickles back over the blue line. Lukin just holds it there. Plays it back to the far side. Now to the near side. Lukin down the left wing. Gets it to Van Steensel. Van Steensel tries to get around Constantini, but he takes it away from him. And as the 67's try to clear the zone, Van Steensel blocks it, and now there's a chance in the slot. North Bay looking for control of the puck. Jackson's there. Jackson carries it to the half boards on the near side. He trips and falls down, but then from one knee plays it in behind the net. Gets it to the far side corner, and it's taken there by Mayich of the 67's, and he will carry it behind his net and hold it there with 2:15 to play in the third period. North Bay ahead 5-0. Looking to go 6-2 at home. Sent around on the near side boards. It's Muse at the blue line in the North Bay zone. His pass is blocked by Hislop and cleared by North Bay. Turnover at the line in the Ottawa zone. Jackson coming in, takes a shot. Save made. Puck is loose. And McKenzie finds it right on his pads and covers it up for a stoppage and play with 1:53 to go. 5-0 North Bay lead. And remember, we talked about the fewest shots the 67's have gotten in the game are 18 in that win over Kingston back on November 9th. They had 2 shots in the opening minute of this period. They haven't gotten a shot on net since then and are still at 18 overall.
Yeah, they're making me look real good when I said I think they're going to blow by that 18 total as they clawed their way back into within striking distance of that shot total with the Battalion. But since then, it's been all North Bay with 34 shots to 18.
That puck is sent down the ice, and it is a icing call coming up against the Ottawa 67's. Yeah, they took 2 shots. One at the 3-minute mark, another at 3:22, and that has been it for Ottawa in this period.
Wow.
Certainly the penalty trouble doesn't help them, although they also have had a power play since then. North Bay win the draw in the Ottawa zone. Romani who just scored moments ago for his 6th of the season, sends it to the corner for Lukin. And does Lukin have a goal from a sharp angle? I think he does. No, maybe he doesn't. Everyone looked confused there.
Even Wakely, who was standing down in the crease of the 67's, kind of stood there for a few minutes after the puck was cleared down to the Battalion zone and waited.
Well, wouldn't be the first time tonight that everybody got confused on a goal. Remember, way back in the first period, it looked like North Bay scored on a breakaway attempt, but the officials say it hit the post and never went in. Then Nelson's shot went into the net, but then it got called back on a review. So, yeah, there's been a couple of weird ones, and Ottawa's had a goal called back as well tonight on a high stick.
Yeah, so Ottawa has scored a goal, just it was a high stick, and that's not allowed, so...
They have put the puck in the net. They'll give them that. 1 minute to go here in North Bay, as the North Bay Battalion have a commanding 5-0 lead over the Ottawa 67's, who came into this game 18-2 on the year. But Ottawa on the verge of dropping their second straight contest. They've beaten North Bay twice already this season, but North Bay looking to get one back in the win column with 25 seconds to go now. Third-ranked team in the CHL coming into this week. And the North Bay Battalion may have just knocked them down a few notches on that list. A 5-0 win for the troops. Charlie Robertson makes 18 saves and earns career shutout number 1. They'll keep the puck. That'll go on the trophy shelf for the young Mr. Robertson. And the North Bay Battalion completely shut down Ottawa in their second visit here in North Bay this season.
I am at a loss for words, Matt, at how they had 18 shots. They've tied their low on the season, the Ottawa 67's. When they got to 18 shots, it was 17 minutes left in this period.
And they got a power play.
And they had a power play, and the Battalion kept them without a shot from that moment on. We've seen that before in the third period against Kitchener a couple of weeks ago. Battalion outshot Kitchener 14-2 in the third period. This Battalion team is something different. I know it's early. I know Ottawa has the best record in the league, but there's just something about this Battalion team. For somebody who says that he's at a loss of words now, I've gone on a little long, but that's really going to do it for me here on this broadcast.
North Bay improved to 15-6 on the year, while Ottawa fall to 18-3. So for just the second time all season, Ottawa have dropped back-to-back games. We'll get you your 3 stars and your post-game show coming up after this. You're watching the Average Joe's Game Day broadcast on the Frontline Broadcast YouTube channel, and you're listening to us on TSN 1200 in Ottawa.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canador's alumni office. Visit canadorcollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And welcome back inside Memorial Gardens, where it is now an official final here. The North Bay Battalion winning 5-0 over the Ottawa 67's. I'm Derek Linden. I'm joined by Matt Sukram for the Frontline post-game show. Let's get you through the scoring summary of tonight's game. All the scoring done by the North Bay Battalion. The first goal coming at 15:49 of that first period of play. Kyle Jackson, his 11th of the season, first of the night, from Josh Bloom and Justin Ertl. That was the game-winning goal and all the scoring in that first period. It only took the Battalion 53 seconds into the second to add on to the lead. Kyle Jackson with his second of the night, 12th of the season. Bloom and Nelson with the assist on his second goal of the night. And then Tarasevich on the breakaway at 2:21 made it 3-0 North Bay Battalion. Petrov and Wakely with the assist on Tarasevich's goal. And that was the end of the scoring of the second period as the Battalion went into the dressing room with a 3-0 lead. The Battalion extended to a 4-0 lead as Owen Van Steensel picked up his 5th of the season. Ty Nelson, Michael Potaloo assisting on that goal at 2:50, and that spelled the end of the night for Max Donosu. And rounding out the scoring, Anthony Romano with his 6th of the season from Precision and Kennedy at 15:46, and that was how the game finished, 5-0 for the North Bay Battalion. Taking a look at the shots on goal. In the third period, the Ottawa 67's 2, the Battalion 15. Game totals, the 67's 18 shots in total, the North Bay Battalion 35. Neither team capitalized on the man advantage as the Ottawa 67's went 0 for 5 and the North Bay Battalion 0 for 6 on the evening. Face-offs pretty much a wash as the Battalion winning 23-22 the face-offs in this evening's contest. 2 other games going on in the OHL tonight. One is a final as the Erie Otters come back with 3 goals in the third period to beat the Sioux Greyhounds by a total of 4-2. And in Peterborough, the Sudbury Wolves have now taken a 6-4 lead over the Peterborough Petes. That's just over 3 minutes left to go in the third period of play. And that is the only other action going on into the OHL tonight. Let's jump right now to the Dave's Automotive 3 stars of service for tonight's game.
Tonight's 3 stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
All 3 stars again coming from the North Bay Battalion tonight. Third star, Ty Nelson picking up 2 assists on the evening. Second star, Kyle Jackson with a pair of goals. That's 5 goals in the last 2 home games for Kyle Jackson. And the story of the night is Charlie Robertson picking up first star honors, making 18 saves in his first career OHL shutout for the North Bay Battalion. That has to be the story, Matt. It's been 371 days since the North Bay Battalion have registered a shutout. That came November 18th of 2021, in which Joe Verbetic shutout, other than the Ottawa 67's 3-0 that night. So
amazing.
And the shutout now extends Robertson's shutout streak to 81.27 minutes of shutout hockey. What can you say about Robertson's play tonight?
That was unbelievable. I think he gained a lot of confidence in that 6-3 win over the Owen Sound Attack on Saturday. And, he didn't know that he was going to have to come into this game and play against the Ottawa 67's. After Dom DiVincentis was hurt during practice on Tuesday, all of a sudden, you become the number one guy for at least a little while. And not only do you become the number one guy, but you have to go up and face the number one team. That is an incredible... he could never win another OHL game in his rest of his career, but this is a night that he will always remember, stopping the third-ranked CHL team. 18 shots came his way. His defense was unbelievable in front of him, but he made a couple of huge saves in that first period when it was scoreless and really set the tone. And then he was just a really calming presence back there. What I've liked about the games that I've seen Robertson, and this was the first one that I've seen of him at home, the ones that I've seen of him on the road is he is very calm in net. Not a lot of movement, not a lot of wasted movement, just very square to the puck, and wasn't giving up a ton of rebounds throughout most of the game. In the second period, there were some big ones that came trailing through the slot a couple of times, but he cleaned those up in the third period, and, wasn't really tested much in the third period. Just 2 saves that he had to make in that third period, but, man, that is such an amazing story for Charlie Robertson, who's now 4-2 on the year, and, he's just a guy that was, expected to come in and be the backup and try to win some games, and he's had some NHL teams already looking at him as he's going into his draft year. I think that's a game that's going to impress a few NHL scouts.
I think so. And when you talk about it, it only took him 8 games to get that shutout. That's something he can hold against Dom DiVincentis.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what? I got more shutouts than you because Dom still hasn't recorded
that's
a
right.
shutout
He
in
doesn't
the
have
OHL.
one.
So that's something that Charlie Robertson can say, because the last shutouts coming last year were both by Joe Verbetic in that season last year. So yes, that's something that Charlie Robertson can say. He is ahead of Dom DiVincentis in. But you got to think about how well this defense played for the North Bay Battalion. We looked at the fewest shots that the Ottawa 67's have taken in a game, and it's 18, in which they matched tonight. And when you look at the first and third periods, 4-2, that's defensive play by the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, what North Bay was able to do was they did not make zone entries very easy for the Ottawa 67's, and then when they were in the zone, ton of perimeter shots. I don't know, and we could look it up, and someone could probably tweet me and correct me later on, but I don't know how many shots they actually got within the hash marks in this contest. That was just beautiful defense, and when Ottawa would get shots in and it would go off a body in front of the net or go off a stick and go to the boards, North Bay were the first ones on that, and they were winning those battles on the boards and clearing the puck immediately. So yeah, Ottawa, outside their power plays, didn't really have a lot of zone time. Like, they would bring the puck in, maybe connect on a couple of passes, and that would be it. I remember early on in the game, it was Roar's line, I believe. Yeah, Roar and Pinelli were out there with Foster, and they had a play going where they had the puck down low, passed it up to the blue line, passed it back down low to the right side, and then right through the slot to Roar, and Roar got a shot off, and I went, oh boy, here we go. Here come the 67's. But that was about it. Like, I did not see that kind of cycle game throughout the rest of the game.
No, and they had that one scramble in the second period, which the goal was disallowed for the high stick. And other than that, the North Bay Battalion did a really good job, defensively structured. And yes, you talk about those shots in that home plate area, in between the two face-off dots, inside the top of the circle, down low. Just the battalion really kept Ottawa out of those positions and really kept the lanes open for Charlie Robertson.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, they did a really good job of kind of exposing what was becoming a weakness for Ottawa in this game, is that neutral zone play. How many breakaways were there in this game for the North Bay Battalion? Tarasevic had three on his own, right? And there was a sequence where there was 3 or 4 happening within a span of 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, every time North Bay got the puck out of their zone, there was someone waiting down at the blue line on the other end. And that's something Ottawa is going to look at the tape and go, okay, clearly we have to clean that up going into our game in Peterborough on Saturday, and I think they will. I would be shocked if the Peterborough Petes got through one period without letting the Ottawa 67s score a goal. I mean, there's no way this Ottawa team is going to go another period getting shut out like they have been. This team is going to be hungry, and if I'm Peterborough and Sudbury, I might be a little worried about how the next two games are going to go this weekend.
I think so, and I know in the third period I was talking with Chris Dawson, and really the North Bay Battalion really managed the puck well in that neutral zone. They weren't giving turnovers away to the North Bay or to the Ottawa 67s and allowing that transition game to come back and use that counterattack. The Battalion controlled both blue lines and actually used that play against the Ottawa 67s, getting those breakaway chances. And really, it's that puck possession that the North Bay Battalion had. Unfortunately, we don't have stats on turnovers and puck possession, but
not yet. If you want to financially support us, and we can subscribe to a service that would allow us to do that, you can find us on Patreon.
And that's what we talk about, is controlling the puck and not making those costly turnovers at either blue line. And that's what the North Bay Battalion did tonight, was manage the puck well when they had it. And then without puck pursuit was a key. The Battalion seemed to be the hungrier team on the puck pursuit battles and getting to that puck first, and not allowing the Ottawa 67s really to generate any free opportunities to get in to the Battalion zone at all.
Well, when they beat Kingston 6-2 last Thursday, and now so North Bay have now outscored the opponents 11-2 over their last two home games. It was a matter of, you got to come out and if you want to be one of the upper echelon teams in the league, you've got to kind of put these teams in their place when they come into your home rink, and they did that against Kingston. But when it's against a team like the Ottawa 67s, who are clearly the standouts to this point in the season, you just have to, buckle down and take your chances when they come and try to take the game to the Ottawa 67s, and they did that. And North Bay proved that they are a team that everyone should be watching this season in the OHL. It's one thing to beat Kingston 6-2 on home ice. It's another thing to shut down the Ottawa 67s.
Yeah, and the way they did, 5-0. Yeah. Very precision, very surgically picking apart the Ottawa 67s in both zones, all three zones when you include the neutral zone. But it's going to be tougher again as they're back on the road again for another 3-on-3. After tonight, they're going to be down in Hamilton to play the Bulldogs, and then they're going to continue that 3-3 as they take on the Ice Dogs on Saturday night before a rare Wednesday night occurrence up in Sudbury against the Wolves. And then they'll finish off next weekend, the December 1st or 2nd and 3rd weekend, with a visit to Kingston and Peterborough before we get to see them again.
That is a tough schedule.
Before we see them again here on home ice Thursday, December 8th for the annual Teddy Bear Toss.
Yeah, and that game will be against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. So, yeah, that's a tough schedule for the North Bay Battalion. So, Ryan Olahan on Wednesday talked about how you'd rather play a team like this at the beginning of the stretch. You win, and everything
gravy.
else looks like gravy after this. You lose, well, now you know what you got to build up to. So, they took the former, not the latter, and away we go on this 5-game road trip.
Exactly, and you know what? It was really good to see the type of support, too, from the fans here at Memorial Gardens. Just over 2,500 in attendance, really showing their support for the North Bay Battalion, and the round of applause that they gave Charlie Robertson for that shutout, earning his first OHL shutout.
Absolutely, yeah. They're smart fans here, so they know when something big happens on the ice. They respond to it well.
Well, you're not going to get to listen to us again for a couple weeks here for North Bay Battalion hockey, but we'll be broadcasting tomorrow from Powassan Sportsplex as the Hearst Lumberjacks are in town tomorrow night to take on the Powassan Voodoos, and then on Saturday the Cochrane Crunch are in town to take on the Voodoos. You can catch all that action on the Frontline YouTube channel, and also the U18 Trappers will be taking on the U16 Trappers on Saturday afternoon and again Sunday afternoon. Those games will also be on the Frontline broadcast YouTube channel from Powassan Sportsplex, but the big news is what happened here at Memorial Gardens tonight with the Battalion winning 5-0 over the Ottawa 67's.
Yeah, awesome game to watch, and we were so happy to bring it to you right here on the Average Joe's Game Day broadcast on the Frontline Broadcast YouTube channel and simulcasted on TSN 1200 in Ottawa. So for Derek Lindemann and for Courtney Kenny, I'm Matthew Sukram saying thanks again for joining us. Thanks to Drew Ferris for running the show tonight. It was a pleasure to have him in the broadcast booth as always. Until next time, Matthew Sukram signing off. Have a great night.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.